2, 1. What's up, fellas? So,
What it do?
In this episode, we have one of our good friends on the show. I've known this guy actually for a long time. He claims that I was the first person that he met in the U.S. I'll let you guys guess where he's from. He's one of the funniest and craziest dudes I know. I've seen this man actually run through just a straight fire, came out alive. And he actually brought us a nice bottle of whiskey here. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Salud. His name is Julian Verduzco, not Julian. Please not call him Julian. It is Julian, but
It's fine.
What's up, though, dude? What's up, man? How you been? Everything good?
I've been chilling, man.
That's good. Working? Yeah, we're good. Everything's good. Just been, doing this. But yeah, I mean, how have things been? It's been a while, dude. Like, you're working, graduated from the U of A, so now you got a big boy job. You said you calmed down a little bit. I know that you
mellowed out completely.
Yeah, mellowed down. That's good.
Gotta protect the brand.
Yeah. Gotta put a nice face out there. So that's good, dude. But we appreciate you coming in here. How have things been for you, like through the pandemic? Like how, like any changes for you, or are you still going to work like as if it's like normal, or what's the deal?
Nah, well, I was living in Santa Monica for like...
Okay, that's right. Yeah. So before you got on, you mentioned that you were out living, somewhere else for a couple
LA,
months. For
West
how long?
LA. So I moved in October, and then as soon as the shit hit, I stayed here. No,
really?
like I came here to visit my family, my girl, whatever, for a weekend, and then it got like crazy in LA. So I was like, I'm not gonna go back. I canceled my flight. They were like, yeah, you guys stay, work from home, whatever.
Really, dude? That's
and
crazy.
It worked out that way. Yeah,
So it's been how long? It's been, so you said 4 months since you've been here? Since like February or so?
March 15th, midway through March.
So you came over here from LA, and it's all just based off of coronavirus. So you guys aren't open where you guys are at, like in LA?
It's just way more serious. Like there's no gyms aren't open over there.
Still? Dang.
Like you can barely hang out at the beach. Like people are like way more scared, It's like
obviously a lot more people. Do you still have your place over there?
Yeah, man. $1,250 a month.
Really? And you're paying just to pay it without you even...
I'm gonna go back just because of that. Like I gotta live there.
Man. Yeah, no, you're paying for it, right? You got to. You signed the lease, you signed the papers and everything. So it's like
Richie. You remember Richie?
Yeah, Richie Estrada. I remember beating him one time in BP. Shout out Richie. I beat you in BP. He actually wrote in my yearbook, he said, I think he called me a little bitch or something like that for beating him in BP. I remember that. So it's just a funny memory, dude. It's been, so you're a year younger than me. I graduated in 2013 from high school, and you graduated in 2014. So
that's right, yeah.
It's been a couple of years, dude. It's been, it feels like it hasn't, right? Like it feels like it hasn't really been that long. Yeah, and it's been how long? 6 years for you, 7 years for me, and this guy over here graduated in 2017.
It's almost your 10-year anniversary, dude.
Don't say that, dude.
10 year for you, 4 years and be a 10-year.
Don't say that.
That's so weird to think about.
Yeah, people that we know are starting to have kids. Like some of the craziest dudes that we know, or people that we know, are starting to have kids, and they're their parents and everything. So it's definitely, things have changed. That's for damn sure. But
are you 25?
25, dude. 25. How old are you? 24.
Quarter of a century, bro.
24? Yeah, quarter of a century.
24, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Close? Are you getting close to 25?
No, I just turned February 8th. So.
Oh, okay. But yeah, dude, so you lived in Santa Monica, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lived in Santa Monica, LA. That's right there. And you've traveled a lot. I checked out your Instagram. You've been to Hawaii, right? Nashville, those kind of things. How was that?
It was dope, man. My favorite city, definitely New York City. I was there. Oh,
man, I've never been there, dude.
I lived there for 3 months. I was
interning.
New
York City?
Yeah, interning at Bloomberg for 3 months.
Wow.
Last summer.
Man.
And it was amazing.
I bet.
Just the history, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you go down the street, you're like...
You don't need a car. You can just, walk around, or you can...
I hate driving.
Go, exactly.
That was my city.
Especially here, dude. Here in where we're at in Tucson, dude, it's tough to drive here. I feel like drivers are just like, they don't care, right? Yeah.
It's just everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Drivers suck everywhere. Everyone gets on my nerves. Everyone like why are you on my ass?
Yeah, yeah. In Mexico, it's worse, dude.
Oh yeah.
You visit. You're from Mexico, right? Were you born there?
Hermosillo, yeah.
Hermosillo, huh? Shoot,
right.
Man. Sonora.
We were talking crap about Hermosillo yesterday, or the other podcast, about driving. It just came up. It's weird that we were saying, I think me and my dad crossed the street in Hermosillo for some KFC. We were over there for I think one of our cousins was graduating from nursing school or something, and we were getting some KFC, and we crossed the street. Whatever light, red, green, no one cares.
The lights
Yeah,
weird shit.
It doesn't matter, dude.
You got like shit crossing.
It doesn't matter. Like they have all the same. They have the same red light, green light, stop signs, all kinds of signs, but nobody cares. Nobody.
But you know what? You drive there for a week. And you got it.
You get used to it. Yeah, I'm
because
sure.
I mean you're still in the car. You're still trying to be like.
Yeah.
I'm
so
driving.
do you visit Hermosillo every once in a while? You go back?
Not anymore. I used to.
Especially now through with things kind of getting.
Oh yeah, I haven't been there
worse.
since. Fuck, I couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, dude.
But once a year, like that's so bad.
Just visit family and everything.
Yeah, I need to see family more often, but
it's tough. It's tough to go back because it's, especially right now. I mean, through the virus, I know that they shut the borders down for a little bit too. They weren't letting people come in or anything.
Something like that.
So you were born there.
Yeah.
How did you emigrate? How did you get over here?
Illegally. No, just kidding. I mean, I guess illegally for a while, but eventually it became legal.
He's like, shit.
But I was like, I was 6 years old. I could have sworn you were like the first people I met because I was in the first grade class. I was 6 or 7 years old. I don't remember. But who was your second grade class?
So I think what it was is, so you were in first grade, I was in second grade, but we had like the map class. Yeah.
What the hell was that? I don't know. I still don't understand. Like, why were they mixing?
I know.
Grade?
And it was just only first and second grade. That was it. Like no other. It wasn't like third or fourth. It was just first and second grade for whatever reason.
Were we dumb or something?
I don't know, man.
Like they're like, yo, mix them together.
Yeah, I don't know. These guys.
They need some help.
Or you were smart.
Maybe.
Or you were smart and I was dumb.
I remember they wanted to hold me back, but math in Mexico, like when they teach you math, they teach you a little more accelerated.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom was like, oh, like, you can't speak English, you can't, whatever, but how are his math grades?
Yeah, right.
And like I was the best in the class.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So they're like, you can't help. It's just a language barrier.
Yeah, you can't read English, but you can read math.
Exactly,
you can read the numbers and everything.
International language.
Yeah.
I got held back in third grade, and they told me it was because I was too young. It wasn't because I didn't know how to read. It was because I was too young.
Which is weird, right? Like you would think that they would have figured that out before.
Wait, what time? What age did you graduate high school?
I was 18, but I turned 18 at the beginning of the year. I think I was like slightly a little young for my age bracket when I was in third grade, because then I would have graduated high school at 17. Yeah, you're right. But I didn't know how to read, bro.
So he
I had no idea.
That was just a nice way to be like, yo, he's dumb as shit.
Because I wasn't born in Mexico, dude. I knew English. I still couldn't read.
You told me one time, what was the story that you told me, how when the teacher was reading in class or something like that, and then you were just like pretending.
I was pretending. Yeah, I was flipping the book. I was judging. I was like pretending to read the words and then flip the page at the right time. I was timing it good. I was like, yeah. And then the teacher was like, oh, you're reading some book. She was proud of me, and I
was like, yeah, that's
probably the book was upside down. No idea, dude. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I mean, schooling's crazy, dude. Because we were just talking about it before, like college. Like I guess back like 50 years ago, college would have been. It was looked at as something like professionally for people that got a degree. You're looked at as better and stuff.
Then. You could take like a summer job and pay your tuition, or you could even work like, I don't know, flipping burgers back then and pay for your tuition and I'm sure housing. But now
now with the internet, it's like almost people can learn anything, right? Like people can learn almost anything. So schooling's almost like not necessary, but it's necessary in some ways, especially if you are a doctor, if you are a lawyer. Like we were talking about this, like those people definitely need to go to school to be able
smart.
to, right, to be able to pass the bar or pass their medical exams, whatever they need to do. But if you're not really doing those specific things, it's kind of like almost like unnecessary. I think it was Elon Musk said it. He said that college is more just like for the socialism, just for like being, getting friends and networking and doing that sort of things and hanging out and making memories. But in terms of like actual real world experience, it doesn't really translate anymore. Like back then, I would assume like 50 years ago, I would assume that it was, it would actually work a little bit better than it does now. But I mean,
they definitely sell it that way.
Like, right.
You go on Instagram and it's like college this, college that, movies, you're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
Like, we want your money.
Yeah, exactly. That's the bottom line. I mean, it is a business, they are in it for the money, but
what's scary is if it, the argument, if it becomes free, then people would just have to like be obligated to have a master's to separate themselves from people who have.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
Some people do believe that like, I remember I had a boss who said that if you don't have a master's nowadays, it doesn't really matter. And even you were saying that your job, you don't necessarily use your degree, and most people who are outside of those fields that Alex was saying, like medical and lawyers, you don't really need a degree. But also, right before the podcast, Alex made a really good point that even though those people, like, you could do a job without a college degree, they're not going to look at you if you don't have that degree. If you don't have
like I said, I have homies who are just as smart, if even smarter than me, and harder workers.
Yeah, right.
But just because they don't have, they didn't go through it.
Yeah, just because they don't have the degree, they don't have it on paper, then it means that they're not qualified enough. When in reality, like at my job, I got a communications degree. It definitely helped me get my job, but in terms of like doing my job, nah, not really. Like, it definitely looks better on paper is one thing, but you just interview, one person. It should really just be the best man for it, right? Like, someone who doesn't have a degree, and then you stack them up against people that do have a degree on paper. Obviously, the people with a degree are looked at as just better, but in reality, who knows? He could be, smarter. He just couldn't afford it, or for whatever reason, he couldn't go to college. It's tough, dude.
But the thing is, we knew that going into college.
Exactly.
Like, we're going to separate ourselves by having a college
and that's
degree.
the point of going to college, just to separate yourself, just so you're
Make
able to
more competitive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
A resume booster. That's what like internships are. You don't want to do them. You don't get paid, but they're just resume boosters and experience, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You interned, right? You interned. You said
Bloomberg
in New York City. Bloomberg.
Crazy. Would you gonna vote for him if he won?
That's a tough question. I asked him before. I was like, are there any topics that you don't want to talk about?
The political one is
it is very touchy. Yeah, it is very touchy. That's true.
What did you do for him? What is it like? He's finance, right? He's like a finance person.
Yeah, it's like finance news.
Like stocks, right? Is it like stocks? Is that like kind of what his deal is?
So the Bloomberg terminal is like a financial news platform. I mean, you could do a lot more on it. Have you guys ever seen a terminal? It's like a keyboard. Everyone knows it by the keyboard. The keyboard is like color coded. There's green, and instead of saying enter, it says go.
Okay.
But essentially, what you could do is analyze different companies, and their data is just like out of this world.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So I kind of understand. So Bloomberg is almost just like selling information, right? He's just like selling
They're
data.
An information company,
selling information. And that's what you are, right? MIS, Management Information Systems.
So like it fit, and I did sales, and the internship was sales and analytics, so it was like a perfect mix in the middle. And what I did, I just shadowed a bunch.
You just shadowed people for how many? You said like 3 months, right?
3 months, and I called people, trying to set up meetings for the actual sales reps or the account managers, things like things.
So it was just like you were just setting them up for the alley oop, like you threw them the lob, and they just
there were already clients for the account. There were already clients. It was just they always update the Bloomberg, like they add on extra little tricks. So what I would do is I would hit them up and be like, hey, I'd like to teach you this new little trick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I teach them on the phone, and then I'd be like, hey, how's your schedule looking for this week? I'd like to set you up with your account manager. It's been a year since you guys last met up. And then they would say yes or no, and then send them
go from there, and then send them down the path. Is that similar to what kind of you're doing now?
Yeah.
So they're
very similar. So setting up meetings for account
So now reps. Instead the interns now setting you up, and now you're the one that's like.
I think we have interns. I don't know. I've never seen an intern like a NetSuite. That's the company I work for now.
NetSuite, owned by Oracle, right? Oracle's a big company. I think I was looking into it a little bit. It's like I think Oracle purchased it for like $12 billion or something.
9 to 12, I don't remember.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
2016.
Yeah, a couple years ago. Big money, dude. Big money. So that's kind of what it is, just like selling information software. Or like.
Well, NetSuite is more of
like computers?
ERP, so enterprise resource planning.
Okay.
So essentially, what that is how do I put it in? So instead of having a bunch of different point solutions to run a business, like you have your accounting software, you have your inventory, your CRM, client relationship management.
Got you.
It's all consolidated into one platform, and that's what we are in NetSuite.
Damn, that's big time, dude. That's good. That's good. And out in Santa Monica, right? And that's
where you're based? Is that where you're?
Yeah.
LA. That must have been nice, dude. That must have been really nice, dude. Santa Monica, the weather, California's right there.
It's just expensive.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, you said you were paying $1,200, right? That doesn't sound that bad from the nightmare stories I've heard?
Yeah, we lucked out, and we're 2 miles away from the beach.
Ooh, man, that's sweet, dude.
I mean, I'm like, I haven't been there in 3 months.
Yeah,
it's dope, though.
It's still cool, bro. But you're gonna go back, you know, and
when
then
you plan on going back?
I bought a plane ticket for July 7th.
Ooh, so
Getting
about
close, a month.
Yeah, a little less than a month.
Yeah.
But you've been around, right? You've been. That sounded bad, huh? You've been around, bro. You've been out on the streets.
You little whore.
Yeah. But like, you know, you've traveled. You know, you've been to Nashville. You've been to Hawaii. You've been to, you know, a bunch of different. Like, what's kind of like your favorite city, maybe that you'd want to go back, or that, you know, really, besides New York City? You already mentioned New York City. I mean,
where would you retire? Where would you, at the end of the day, if you had to choose a city to live the rest of your time?
I think it would either be somewhere in Arizona or in Texas.
Really? You like
just simply because
Tucson, or do you like
Arizona's always home? Like, Tucson's always going to be home, right? It's like, you know,
it's just cheap in those two states.
It's true.
So like, I know I could stretch out my money.
Arizona and where? What else did you say?
Texas.
Okay. Yeah, I figured, because Texas is so big, you know, you can go almost anywhere.
Yeah, man.
And you can, but I mean, we haven't really been, like us two, we haven't really been much of anywhere. I think the furthest we've gone is like Florida, maybe. I think we went to Orlando. He's gone to Orlando a couple times. I went to Orlando once just to go to like Disney World. It wasn't even like a vacation or nothing. It was just like our dad just took us on his business trip, and that was it. Like that was it. But it was still cool. Like, it was just really humid, man. Like, I think it was like, we got in, we flew in, we got to the airport. I think it was like 2:00 in the morning or 3:00 in the morning. And as soon as we walked out, so, you know, we're getting our bags, whatever, we're in the airport. And as soon as we walked out of the airport, and again, it's like 2 or 3 in the morning, we walk out, and then within like 5 minutes, we're already sweating. And it's like, dude, this is crazy.
Fogged up.
Yeah. It's like 2 or 3 in the morning. Yeah, exactly, dude. And that's the one thing too, with like the mask, not wearing the mask and stuff. It's like your glasses fog up too. You gotta figure that out.
Inhale deeply.
Yeah.
To be able to walk around the grocery store.
And then hold your breath for a while. Yeah, just so it doesn't fog up. But yeah, I mean, Florida was so humid.
Texas is a good point though, dude. I'm pretty sure you can get like mansions in Texas for $300 the price. Yeah, like LA houses or something like that.
Nah, in LA it's like $2 million for, I don't fucking know.
Yeah,
You'll
just on the beach. Yeah, and then
like, you'd be like, you know what I mean? You'll look at it, you'd be like, what the fuck?
This house for $3 million? Are you serious?
Yeah.
And then in 50 years or however long, the ocean's just gonna come in and just destroy everything. Yeah,
the earthquake is gonna fuck everything.
Yeah, take everything out.
I heard this really funny thing of, you know, that guy Ben Shapiro, that hardcore conservative podcast guy.
Yeah, the Jew boy. Yeah.
He had a point that he said. I think he was arguing to like a bunch of college students. He said that, if he was arguing climate change, I'm pretty sure he's probably not a hardcore believer in climate change. And he said that for those people who have like beachfront houses and the sea level start rising, they're like, just sell. He said, he was like, just sell your house. And then the joke was, who are you going to sell it to? Aquaman? Like, if the sea levels rise, who the heck are you going to sell your house to? It doesn't matter.
At that point, it's pointless, right? At that point, your value's at $0.
I feel like most of those people are millionaires anyway.
Yeah, you're probably right, but you still
whatever, I got 3 more.
Yeah, I lost one house, whatever. You know, I still got this one in Hawaii.
Yeah.
How was Hawaii, by the way, actually?
Sick, man.
Really? Yeah.
Do you remember... Chris.
Yeah.
Machito.
I don't really know. I know who he is, but I don't think I've ever really talked to him. But I know he's out there, right? He's like taking photography.
Yeah, he works in insurance as well. So like, that's his side gig, photography. But he knows all the chill spots.
So
he's a super nice guy. If you ever go to Hawaii, you hit him up.
Yeah. So he was almost like your tour guide around there and just showing you the way and things like that. I mean, man, that sounds like such a good time. It was
awesome, bro. I always think about it like, I wish I could go back, like live there for a year.
Yeah,
because it's tiny. You don't realize how small Oahu is. It's like the size of Tucson.
Really?
Yeah, tiny.
I mean, in Tucson, you can get from the north side to the south side in a half hour. You know,
is it surrounded? It's an island, right? Surrounded by water.
Yeah, completely surrounded by water.
I mean, that's Hawaii in general, right? Hawaii is just
I guess
that's an island. I'm just kidding.
That's what island is. But
is it? You said, what did you say? Oahu.
Oahu, yeah, that's where most people live.
Where did Dom say? Dom said he went to Maui.
Maui, right? Yeah, that's more. From what I know, it's more like a honeymoon spot, like more of like relaxed,
like touristy, more just. Like...
Well, it's just more like chill. Like you go and you kind of just like chill in your.
But you were mostly in Oahu, right? That's where you were most.
So that's where Honolulu is, I think. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So that's where the city is.
So,
I was gonna ask you that, like, I can't remember what comedian he was saying, like, Hawaiian people are just like, they cross the street with patience, like they're not about getting to the place quick as hell, like they're more chill. Like when you said chill, like Maui's a chill spot, I was thinking like, aren't the people, are they different? Are they, are they Samoans, you know, like are there more natives than white people? Or?
Well, I didn't communicate with any of them, but I saw them. I mean, they're just like brown people, I don't know, you know?
I just imagine, I don't know why, like it comes to my head, just like I just imagine that dude from what's that Disney movie?
Maui?
Yeah.
That's his name, right? Maui.
Maui. I just imagine, I imagine the Hawaiian people just looking like Maui, just with like the tribal. I mean, it's very stereotypical. It's probably not right for me to say.
I don't think.
That's just what I picture like Hawaiian people to look like.
Yeah.
Just with like the long hair and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. But I didn't like the only Hawaiian people that I communicated with was when I went to restaurants. Like,
just like
so they're just gonna be nice to you regardless. They don't like islanders or mainlanders, they call them.
Right,
like people from the mainland. Just because obviously we're tourists and I'm sure they run into
we're just
assholes.
in there, just exactly, I'm sure that people, demand certain things.
Like rich assholes.
That's completely true. But I mean, I just think it's so like, it's so crazy because it's kind of far away, right? It's like off somewhere, right? It's like, is it like, let me figure this out. It's like southwest, right, of us, of like Pacific. Where we're at. So like southwest.
Southwest, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I read somewhere that it's the most isolated place in the world.
Hawaii, really? Like in terms of like where the next country is or whatever.
Yeah, the next island even.
Oh, I see. That's interesting, dude. So It's just like secluded. So
that's what people get, like the island fever or whatever the fuck it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you feel like you can't go anywhere.
Like you're trapped, almost like claustrophobic or what?
Yeah, I don't know, you can't go anywhere.
Right, yeah. I mean, like you're stuck there. Yeah, like you.
But it's weird because there isn't much to do at night, so I could definitely see like why they feel that way.
Really? There's just because it's like not a lot of people, or like
it's just not. It's not big. It's not like a huge city. It's not like going to Phoenix or something.
I think I've heard that it's like almost hard to get to places. Like you're at your hotel, you're at your Airbnb, and you want to go to the grocery store. Like it takes a little bit for that. Is that true or no? Not really.
Know.
No,
good question for Chris. Chris Matricito.
Yeah, okay.
Getting your shit like from Amazon or something like that. It
I wonder.
a little bit longer.
Probably, right?
Right? Or there's like they always say, for example, like a stupid Arby's commercial is like, oh, our prices are different. If you read the bottom, they're like, our prices are different in Alaska and Hawaii. Because, I'm assuming
because fuck Alaska.
yeah, dude.
They wrote that like fucking time.
Yeah, dude.
I wonder, like, in Mexico, like, dude, can you order shit from Amazon?
Like in Amazon? I don't know. It's a good question. You would think that you could, right? Like you would think that Amazon's like international and I don't know, man. I don't know. You would think though, right? Like you would think that Amazon is kind of like international. It's such a huge company. I mean, Jeff Bezos is like, he's like $130 billion. I guess his net worth. There. That's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, man. Do you think like, I know it's kind of going to sound like a socialist kind of, but like, do you think that maybe, because I don't know, it's a tough question. Do you think that maybe people like Jeff Bezos or like rich people like Bill Gates or whatever, like, do you think that there should be like a cap maybe on how much somebody can make? Because $130 billion, obviously he doesn't have that in his bank. Like that's not, how much he really has in his bank, but like he has more money than he can ever like do anything with. Like he's going to die and he's still going to have $100 billion left over. Like, and obviously it'll go to his kids or whatever, but still like, for generations after generations, like they're going to be good. Like, do you think that maybe there should be like a cap on how much people make? I know that, we're the land of the free and, capitalism and things like that. And like I said, it kind of is like a socialist kind of viewpoint, but it's kind of ridiculous once you get to that point of like how much money you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not an economist, but I remember in my econ class, like they broke it down, like what would be better for
really
most average people. You know what I mean? Would it be socialism? Capitalism.
That's a very interesting question, dude. And it's very
overall, it's better to have a couple people winning. Like,
Just, I mean, he's obviously
no billionaires,
right?
And everyone, and there's no, no one's making Apple, no one's making iPhones, no one's making Macs because there's no incentive.
I agree, and that's a very good point because it's like I'm doing all of this, I'm creating this many jobs for people, I'm doing I'm boosting up the economy.
They're taking the risk, like although like let's say you own a factory and your factory workers are still very important. That owner is the one taking the risk. He pays the rent, he pays for the machinery, he pays for the product or whatever you need, and the worker at the end of the day can just get another factory job or move around. But
the factory worker isn't doing shit. You're not entitled to this much money. Like like if you want to make more money, you're gonna have to do it like everyone else. You're gonna have to learn a new skill.
Develop,
and get out there
and get some experience and work. Like you have to work like in order to become rich, and unless you're born into it. But
even then you can't get mad at those people for being born rich. What can you do? Like you don't choose where you're born. You don't choose who you are. Like
you don't even choose.
Overall,
to be born.
Us being here in the U.S., we're winning. Like we're in the top.
Exactly.
Less than 1%. People are still bitching about it. Like,
exactly.
It's crazy.
Like because the United States, like there's so much opportunity here. Like compared to most of the world, like you can't like what we're doing right now. Like we're doing a podcast. We created it. Like and we're putting it out there and. Most of the people that listen to us are from the U.S. and it's like if we were to do this somewhere else, it really wouldn't work. Like it wouldn't. I don't
even know if there's Wi-Fi anywhere else.
We are very we are very lucky to be where we are. Especially you. I mean, you were born in Mexico, so you're not because we were born here. Like our parents are from Mexico. Luckily my dad, he was born in Nogales, Arizona. Luckily. Because if he wasn't, then man, we'd be doing this podcast in Mexico.
Like if he was born 20 miles south, then your life might have been a little different.
Oh, it would have been a whole lot different. Yeah, it would have been.
People don't realize that. I think I don't know. There needs to be more immigrants because immigrants think differently. They're more like
exactly. Yeah.
All this stuff, like all the protesting that's going around, try protesting in Mexico, dude. They'll pop your ass.
They can kill you.
Yeah, they will kill you.
Bro, my dad knew this guy who, I think it was back, I'm not sure, it wasn't even that long ago, maybe like the 80s or 70s. He knew some guy who was like a student and who was running protests like that. I'm sure it was just regular, college students in Mexico have always been pissed. All those in the 1960s, those Jews that got murdered, do you remember? Like, not
there's like a Netflix documentary
that actually happened pretty recently, though. 40 students were missing.
Yeah, that was I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm saying like in the 60s for the Olympics, Mexico was hosting the Olympics and they blasted like thousands of students or protesters.
Yes, I remember.
And it was the government. Like it was the Mexican government popping people. And what I'm saying is my dad knew this dude who was kind of running like a student protest around his community or his area. And I think my mom's dad somehow, I'm not sure, got a word that maybe they were going to come in, the Mexican government were going to come in and sort of put a stop to it, and they warned that dude who was leading it. They're like, hey, they're out for you, like maybe. They don't know, it just sound kind of like a tidbit, a little bit of information that dropped down, and they warned him. They're like, dude, this is no joke, like they'll fucking kill you. And he did. I think he left. I'm not sure he didn't go to America or anything. I'm pretty sure he just left. Because it's serious. He didn't take, like if you tell an American protester who's leading something that they might kill you, then it might give them more incentive to start like, oh, dude, I don't care, come for me, I got power. But in Mexico, it's like, dude, they will blast you. They will joke.
And your family,
in the worst way possible.
Yeah, they will do that.
And it's the government. How many miles south? It's like, it's not even that
I always
far.
think about that. I was born in Hermosillo. Imagine
how life would be like right now.
It'd be.
Dude.
If I was born just 100 miles north.
Yeah, you'd be huge, right? Because that's the only kind of way of, protection or kind of like, doing things. And I have plenty of cousins who live there, and I think one of my cousins is actually he might be doing some steroids, but he looks huge, man. He's a big guy. He's a really big guy. But
it's just so wild that's just a different life. Like literally across the border, one of our aunts during the COVID, like I don't think they were preparing as much as America when we were all shut down, all the bars, all the barbers, salons and stuff. My mom was talking to her family across the border. They were at restaurants, they were getting their haircut, nothing shut down. And I think, I'm not sure how it worked around the whole Mexican country, but just in the Sonora area, just where my aunt lives, they started sort of locking things down. You could still go to stores, but they started limiting people. And let's say for my aunt told a story that she was with her, I think her boyfriend or something, and they were only letting in one person per party into the store. So if you went with two people, that couldn't happen. The other dude should have waited in the car or been at home. and they were in line and they were both talking. And so they have an armed guard pointing guns at people in the front of the store, counting how many people walk in. And so she came to the front, and the guard was just like, hey, are you with him? And she said, no. She's like, I don't know him. And they're like, you're lying. You're definitely with him. I saw you talking to him. And she pointed his rifle at her, and she had to leave. So imagine in America, you're going to Walmart, and they point a rifle at you. They're like, hey, one person per party. Like, there's no way that shit's flying around here.
It's just completely different, dude. It's just a completely different way of doing things, and we would be doing that if my dad literally, I mean, in Nogales, Arizona is like what, like you said, like 20 miles from the border, 30 miles from the border.
I don't know.
If we were born over there, we'd be doing this podcast over there, you know. And who knows if we would even be doing it. And luckily, my dad, he was born here in Arizona, but he grew up in Mexico. He moved over here when he was 18. He started, learning English. He went to college over here in Yuma. Went to Pima. Went to the U of A. And, ever since then, we've been here, our whole life. So luckily, and then he immigrated my mom, and my mom got her citizenship in 2000. And now that stuff is like, it's kind of hard to get your citizenship now.
Yeah, man. I've been trying to get my citizenship since 2015. But no, it's completely my fault, though. Like, I have a green card. I can work here. The only difference between me and a citizen is they can vote.
That's it, really?
They can vote and they can run for office.
Right. Yeah, you can run for president.
I think I want to.
Yeah.
But
it's just presidency, right? That's the only president.
No, you can't run for
off the soil.
You can't run. You can't be president without being
president. You have to be born in the United States.
Okay.
Or like John McCain, who was born in a military base.
Yeah.
I see.
There you go.
What were you gonna say? You had something you were gonna say.
Yeah, I've just fucked up. So the thing is, you have to have 5 years of what they call a good moral character.
Okay.
For you to apply for citizenship.
If you do a crime, bro, out.
Well, I did.
Well, I did do a crime.
No, I mean, so 2015, they got me with a misdemeanor and minor in consumption. So I was, it was my senior ditch day, dude.
You got
We were having a blast. It was 11 a.m. 11 a.m. So then I got that. And then.
That's tough, man. Yeah. That's so dumb. So that delayed everything just because you got
delayed it 5 years, but then I got arrested again in 2017.
Sheesh. I told you this guy was the craziest, man.
This is not anything to do with my character. This is the thing that I don't get. So my parents let out my dog.
Okay.
He's a pit bull mix.
Okay.
And he bit somebody.
Oh,
so huge, right?
Oh, man.
And my parents were like, fuck, they're going to come for their money.
Uh-huh.
So they blamed it on me.
So they put the blame.
Because I don't have anything to lose.
Right. And they have their, their house and they have, their cars and things like that.
So I got charged with.
Negligence or something or what?
Pretty much misdemeanor and leash law or something. Yeah,
whatever. You have to have
dog at large is one of them.
Okay.
And then
dog at large.
That's the dog's fault.
Yeah, right. Dude, you're trying to escape.
That's the dog.
Yeah, for real. Well, they did. They put him in dog prison a week.
You got busted, dude.
Some leash law.
Because you have to have your dogs in leashed up, right?
Yeah, I mean, we fucked up and we admitted it and we did everything we could. Mm-hmm. The homeowner's insurance covered her whatever happened. I think she asked for $45,000.
That's ridiculous,
she got paid,
man.
She got that check.
That is ridiculous.
Good for her.
Yeah, man. Play the system, right? You don't hate this. Don't hate the player at the game. Huh?
Yeah. I'm not saying I put some grease on my arm,
or some peanut butter.
Pinky was pretty fucked up though. I mean,
she'll be all right. She's got 9 more fingers, right? She's good.
She can go to school with that $45,000.
Yeah,
she can learn a new skill. You see what I'm saying?
Stay away from dogs is the skill she should have learned, dude.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so now I have to wait 5 more years from December 2nd, 2017. So 22?
Sheesh. So is it any crime? Do you know? Is it any crime? Any sort of crime? I mean, misdemeanors is the lowest, right? Misdemeanors the lowest kind of sort of form of crime.
I think there's 3 stages in misdemeanors, misdemeanor 1, 2, or 3 or something like that.
And that's the lowest, right? That's the lowest crime.
Yeah, so a misdemeanor is
petty
won't
crimes.
even affect you if you get a job.
Yeah,
they're trying to make it that way, but it's that's only fucking people over.
I'm sure almost everybody's got misdemeanors. I'm sure there's plenty of people with misdemeanors.
Yeah. It wasn't a felony or anything like that. That would suck.
But I feel like that, I don't know, the decision to put it on you, would you agree with that? I agree.
I didn't, no.
Because it's you, right?
What the fuck?
Because it's you. Because you're on the inside. You're the one that's getting blamed. But from the outside, it's for me and him, looking at it, it's man, I probably would have blamed it on my kid too.
Yeah.
Like, because they do have, things to lose. They do have.
I was
that sort of
barely
stuff.
getting home, and
They're
as
like,
soon as I got home, my mom called me, or my mom's outside and was like,
uh-huh.
Rocco, my dog, Rocco got away. And I just kind of drove around. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go look for him. And then he was just down the street, and my stepdad was there, and there was a bunch of people, and then there was a lady on the ground, and I was like,
oh no, this isn't good. This isn't good.
I was like,
damn. And so you got it. So
and then he literally blamed me like in front of the cops. It's like, it's his dog. I was like, okay, yeah, it's my dog.
Sure.
What do I need to sign?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
They took him to the pound for a week.
They didn't put him down or anything.
No, so he wasn't. What do they call it? Fixed. Neutered. So they were like, we have to neuter him because dogs tend to be more aggressive,
like calm. If they're neutered, they're like more calm and stuff.
Yeah, so they had to neuter him.
They don't have nothing to live for anymore, right? If you're
he literally got so fat afterwards.
Exactly.
That's what I've heard.
If an animal's days is worrying about fucking and eating, they're nuts, then they get fat.
Then they all have to look forward to just eat. Yeah, that's it. So that's why they get fat.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Crazy time. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm still good. Legally.
Yeah, you look good. You look nice and fit. Like, you definitely have calmed down from what I've known you. But that sucks, dude, because that's how long now? So has that delayed the process now 10 years or
no 5 years?
So it doesn't matter then, like, because you said you had already gotten it delayed 5 years, right, with MIC?
Yeah. So right now I'd be applying for citizenship, and I would get it. Okay,
I see what you're saying. So it almost just like
it doesn't affect me too much, like
right. Because you're
still
working.
Don't even want to be a citizen.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of money too.
I don't know who doesn't, but I know, like, for me, I'm not like dying to be a citizen.
Right. Yeah. It's nothing like important. It's not vital.
It's not going to improve my life.
Yeah. It's not like you're going to get kicked out or whatever.
But I mean,
you could, right?
So the thing is, me being a resident, I could get deported if I do a serious crime,
like if it's like a felony domestic, or something like that.
Not even some felonies. Some felonies are chill.
Really? Some felonies they're like cool with it or whatever.
Some felonies I could get a good lawyer and they wouldn't.
Not like non-violent or something. Yeah,
but if it's even if I get into a fight with someone on the street, like a drunken fight, and I get arrested for whatever, I could be good. But if it's like domestic violence or if I murder someone, and if I get in DUI, a serious DUI, then those would be like, oof. Yeah, you're done. You're out of here.
But would you think you spend no jail time in America? They just send you over?
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Yeah,
right? Isn't that
like,
I'd almost take that. If I murdered somebody, I think they put you away.
I think you'd be in prison here.
Yeah.
I think they'd extradite you here,
Like they wouldn't send you back.
Yeah.
Just because
that's a stupid point.
They'd want to try you here instead of
keep
going
you here.
Yeah,
especially
exactly.
for murder or something.
Yeah, that's
But
tough.
I mean, again, I don't see that happening. That's probably why I mellowed out.
Yeah, you're like, I'm trying to stay here. I'm trying to chill here.
Yeah, but I'm chill.
That's crazy though, because the process, there's things that we luckily don't even think about, but for other people, it's like that's kind of like their everyday sort of thing. Like, not saying that for you, like you think about it every day, but it definitely crosses your mind.
What if you're completely illegal, you have no visa, no green card, and you're over here? You just get pulled over for speeding, broken taillight. That's it. You're gone, bro.
It's funny because whenever I get into the immigration topic with people who don't know my immigration status, like I'm like, I'm from Mexico. And they're like, yeah, but you came here legally. And I'm like, how do you know?
Yeah, right, yeah. Hey,
how the fuck do you know,
Were you with me?
Like, you don't know shit.
Yeah,
like, you don't know what these people are going through. Like, exactly. I get it. I get both sides, Obviously, we can't let everyone in.
Right.
But
at the same time,
at the same time, like, there's people out there who really want to work more than your average American. How is that not beneficial for all of us?
Exactly.
They risk their lives crossing the border just for that. Not to come here and sell drugs or fucking rape people or do anything bad. They're just
Jeff Bezos is probably like, okay, they're not going to complain about $15 an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I'm going to pay them $10 an hour.
Yeah, that's
what I see fucked up though. Like paying them less. Like,
that's just because inhumane. They're willing to accept that.
Yeah, that's fucked up. And the thing is with immigration, they should just make it so businesses can't cheat. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying.
Because what they're doing is cheating with free labor or almost a free labor.
Just underpaying them under the table, like that sort of stuff.
And not paying taxes on it or whatever, or however you do it. That's cheating. You know?
Yeah, I get what you're saying because the same rule should be applies to both, but at the same time, that's kind of like capitalism too, like if they're willing to take that kind of pay cut and, to me, it's easier.
It's an incentive.
Yeah, it is.
People work on incentives.
Yeah, yeah.
If something is beneficial for you, you're going to do it.
Exactly. And like, that's, kind of how America is. It is based off of that sort of capitalism, but I see it too. It is fucked up because those people are willing to sacrifice their lives. They are willing to work harder than most people. And then they come here and you're like, yeah, I'll give you $5 less an hour. And it's like, you're going to give this white guy over here. Yeah, they'll exactly. But they'll take it. And so that's the deal.
It fucks everything up.
And that's the deal, that you make. It's like, well, you agreed to it and we both agreed to it. So that's, that's what it is. And I get it both ways. Like I do understand it, but like I know that it's very stereotypical. But those kind of jobs are like picking fruit or picking vegetables, doing that sort of stuff. Like,
servers, bro.
Yeah.
You have no idea. There's a lot of servers out there who are illegal.
Really? That are out serving, bartending and stuff?
Like a Mexican restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all like, spilling the tea.
Yeah.
My migra's listening. They're like, oh, shit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wait, yeah. All the immigration people are like, okay, what restaurant?
When I was,
the ICE and stuff. ICE is like taking notes.
It's like,
where are they?
Yeah.
Hold on. But like when I worked at a restaurant, the servers and the bussers, they would show me their paycheck and they would get $0 sometimes. Yeah. It was just off of tips.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what it would be like beneficial for an illegal, right? So like the legal check, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's $0. No taxes, no nothing. You don't have to pay on that.
Most of the money is untaxed cash.
Yep. Yeah, tips. Exactly.
Do you have that Mexican scar? You know that when they put the shot in?
Oh, yeah, there it is. That's the one. I was talking about, That's the one.
You're one of us, bro?
Yeah, I don't got it. I was born here, bro. I don't have that. No, but my parents definitely have that.
Cousins, yeah.
I mean, I don't know what it is. It's like just some sort of...
It's like
a vaccine, right?
I've never really looked into it, but from what like my parents tell me, it's like a vaccine that has like 3-in-1 or something like that.
So 3 different vaccines in one.
So it scars you. I don't know how legit that is, but that's what I've been told.
And it's like every like baby born in Mexico, right? Pretty much that gets that vaccine like once. So you got it once you were born, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
that's what it is, right? That's as soon as you're born.
I think you get it like as a toddler.
Dude, man, that's scarred you up.
It's so different, dude. Like my one of my cousins he had appendicitis, and I think my mom had it too. And she has a scar that's not that bad. She had it in Mexico, so maybe I'm wrong. But my cousin he's my age. So I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago he had appendicitis. His whole hip is scarred the shit up, dude. His whole hip is just beat up. And you see other people, like I had some friends and they don't have nothing. They have maybe a little bit. I wonder what like makes it, I don't know. Obviously you'd assume that the doctors over there don't have the proper equipment or don't have all the resources that American doctors do.
Or maybe just don't take the caution for it or whatever.
You guys have Twitter?
Do
you guys follow a lot of like these conspiracy theorists, anti-vaxxers?
I've seen the anti-vax stuff. I've seen like that sort of thing, but it's crazy, dude. It's crazy because in reality, they're kind of right in some points, right? The anti-vaxxers, they're saying like, we don't really know what's going into our body.
Sure.
It's like, my kid.
But what I don't like about those people is that the way they're talking about their ideas, it's like, you guys are fucking idiots.
It's the truth.
Read into this.
Right.
Do your own research.
Right. Yeah. They're like, what we're saying is the truth and what you guys are doing is wrong.
Like, why aren't you more convincing?
Yeah. Right. Like, why tell me to look up things when you can, if you know for sure, then tell me. Like, explain it to me.
Determined.
Yeah.
These people are so mad.
Yeah. They do get really mad. And the other thing too is like with those anti-vaxxers, if they're wrong, then they're affecting other people. They're affecting other people because if they don't get a certain vaccination, then they get infected or they get sick for it. Then this other person can they get contagious or whatever it is. They transferred over to this other person. It's like you're kind of it's your body, your kids, whatever. You can make the decision for yourself, but you're kind of affecting other people too. You're screwing the people that are going to classes with him or whatever. Like it's really touchy subject. I know, but. I don't know. Like
you can't go to school. I don't think you can go to college.
Yeah, U of A, right? You have to get your universities. You have to get your vaccination stuff. I
remember in high school, I got suspended for a day.
Really?
Because one of my
vaccinations
wasn't like cleared.
What?
Yeah, and they called me in. It was the weirdest thing.
What?
They called me in and they were like, "Hey, turns out you're missing this."
And they suspended you for a day just to, so you
could go home and
go do it
figure
and
the fuck out.
That's weird, dude.
It was super weird.
That is very weird. So it's like, the schools and universities are taking that serious. Like, I know that when I had to go in to the, before transitioning from high school into college, right before going into the university, you have to submit your vaccination papers. You have to, give them, whatever evidence that you have that you got your vaccines. So that just made it seem like if you don't have that paperwork, then you can't get in, right? Like, it's kind of what.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
And that in turn would like make me believe, and that's what I was saying earlier, that you're affecting other people. You're affecting other people because if the university isn't letting you come into their school, then they think, if you don't have the vaccine over here, you don't have like the flu, whatever vaccine it is, then you're gonna infect the other people around you, right? Or else, what's the point of not letting you in, right? If it's on you, if you don't, the vaccine, don't get this vaccine, we can still let you in as long as you're the only one that's getting infected. But in reality, you're infecting everybody else, right? Like that's what I think about. Like that's what I think is going through like the universities, like their officials' head. Like I don't really know.
Because there could be outbreaks, dude. Isn't measles?
Yeah, that shit came back.
And
measles,
right?
yeah, measles
after years.
Yeah, measles did come back.
Yeah, that was a weird time.
Yeah, and it was not too long ago, right? It was like within the last year or something like that.
I think,
and I think it is due. People are obviously blaming them. Yeah, they're blaming them.
It was definitely them. It was like a community in New York City that wasn't.
That's a huge
so they were all
city.
living next to each other or some shit, like around each other, and they got measles.
Yeah, so it's just like one little city or one little part of the city that's infected with measles.
Something like that happened. And I don't really remember, but it was on the news for a while.
Yeah, dude.
The news, man. That's another topic we can get into.
Oh, I do.
What the fuck is going on?
I know. We talk about it.
Where can we get the news now?
Yeah, I talk about that a lot.
I don't believe shit now.
Exactly, dude.
But some people do.
Yeah.
They believe everything.
Of course. Like you click CNN, you watch CNN for a little bit, you get whatever, they're trying to tell you. And then you click to Fox, which is, going from a stereotypical liberal media and then a conservative media. You're getting almost like two different worlds. It's like we're living in two different worlds when we're not. Like we're not living in two different worlds. But if you watch them, it's like they're telling you that we are in two different worlds. It's like it's hard. It's hard to believe anybody, because it's hard to trust the media when in reality the media should be where we do get the news.
I know.
And it's like we don't know what's really going on. Like is coronavirus really that bad, or is it not that bad, or is these riots, because all that they're showing you on the riots, they're not showing you the peaceful protests. Like they're showing you the riots. Like they're showing you the buildings are on fire and things like that.
And I went to a peaceful here a couple days ago on Saturday
at the U of A.
At the U of A, yeah. Peaceful, whatever. Chilling.
Yeah.
I didn't stay the whole time because it was hot as fuck.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's not going to show up on the news. Like I didn't see that on the news. Like I didn't see none of that. They're only showing you the things that are on fire, and
people attract to that. Like peaceful protests, kind of boring.
Of course. Yeah.
It's just our nature to see exciting shit.
Exactly.
And it doesn't.
Exactly.
There's got to be, I don't know.
Yeah, like it's entertaining. Like they're just trying to, the news are just trying to get their.
They're also a business.
Yeah, they're trying to get their views
revenue.
Up. They're trying to get their advertisements and their views. They're trying to get their viewership up, and that sort of stuff does sell. That sort of frighten or fear. Well, they're selling fear essentially is what they are. Like you're watching fear on TV, and that's what they're selling to you, and they understand that people are going to watch that.
Yeah.
Especially it kind of almost like intensified when Trump got elected. Like that's what
for sure.
Like it just kind of like,
and like sometimes I'll be like, oh, that's fake news, and people will think. I feel like fake news, the term fake news.
Like, oh, you're a Trump supporter.
Yeah. Oh, you
exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm literally saying that's fake.
Yeah. Just because he said it, he kind of did.
He kind of
coined it, like he coined that term, or kind of popularized it. But it's not to say that just because you're using it, because it's a nice term. Like it's a good, it describes everything. Like it's fake news, like that. Yeah. Automatically that it's not the truth. And some people's minds, it's like, oh, you're only saying that because
it's so disappointing when people post like on Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah.
Clearly fake news.
Yeah.
Or like on Twitter especially, there'll be tweets where they're trying to grab people's attention emotionally. Like, oh, look how horrible this is.
Yeah. And it's like clickbait too.
Like you're like, oh yeah, that is horrible.
Yeah,
retweet.
Yeah.
But it's fake.
Yeah. And
you didn't
look
research.
into it.
Like you didn't look at the comments. And the comments, it's like hey guys, this is fake.
Yeah, this got debunked. Yeah, exactly.
There was I think a white business owner in Texas or something. So the tweet was that a white business owner kills an unarmed black man during protest. Come to find out, that black dude was beating the shit out of that white guy, and he shot him.
Yeah, so the headlines doesn't give you that sort of things. Like they're just clickbaiting. They're trying to get you to click on their stuff, and if you look deeper into it, you come to find out that, like you said, that black dude was like on top of him and beating him up. It's like, what choice do I have? It's either me or him at that point. Either I die or he dies. Like, you make your choice.
Rodney King riots, wasn't there like a trucker who they pulled out of his car and killed him? I'm pretty sure they beat the crap out of him, and he had nothing to do with it. It was just some white trucker, and they pulled him out of his car and killed him. I'm pretty sure. But
that, I mean, the media is
it's weird, dude. Like, you remember we were watching that Trump press conference, and CNN was obviously covering George Floyd and the protests and all this stuff. Trump comes out, give a press conference, and all he does is talk about China. And he doesn't once mentions George Floyd.
I think it was like the day after, or maybe the day, a couple days after.
The country was in a pretty weird state at that time, and Trump obviously probably should have mentioned it. But CNN has this certain message that they want to get across to their viewers when Trump doesn't give a rat's ass about their message. CNN may think that Trump's going to only talk about George Floyd, he's going to say this, he's going to say that, when at the end of the day, he's not thinking about anything what they're wanting him to cover, wanting to talk about. He instead was focused on China or whatever. And it was actually pretty interesting. That China stuff was pretty bad. I don't want to get into it, I guess, but it was like China took over Hong Kong or something like that. I think they took over the province of Hong Kong, and they gained
they're going through their shit too.
Yeah, over there. Yeah.
I still don't really
me either. I think it's just it's over like jobs and stuff. I think that's what it may be, like, or workers.
They want to be able to like deport people from Hong Kong back to the mainland or some shit.
I don't know. Something like that. Like they're trying to like unionize, or they're trying to just like become their own sort of like.
Because they are kind of like.
It's weird. Hong Kong's very strange, right?
They were ran by British, right? I'm pretty sure British.
Yeah, they were a British colony.
80s or pretty recently, not too long ago, and they just recently busted free. And now the Chinese government, I think, just ran in there, and like we said, we don't know, but I've heard that a lot of Hong Kong protesters are now wanting to leave. They're like almost see it as a lost cause. They're like, there's no way, so they just want to leave. And I think that's what you're saying. They maybe want to just leave Hong Kong.
Separate. It's like Hong Kong is like one of the biggest cities that they have there too. I think like Hong Kong and what else? Shanghai, Beijing. Like those are really the only kind of cities that.
They have some big ass cities,
China.
Bro.
I know,
because they have where did coronavirus start?
Wuhan.
Yeah. That's at 7 million, really? Even more. It's like the size of Chicago.
Really?
As far as population.
I didn't know that either, dude.
It's big ass. They have some big ass cities.
I think Chicago is like the third largest city, right?
Something
it's like
that.
New York City, maybe LA.
I think it's
maybe interchangeable.
Well, I think it's actually New York City, LA, Houston, surprisingly.
Houston, okay.
And then Phoenix.
Really? So yeah. I know Chicago's on the top. Chicago's gotta be top 5.
It's somewhere in there. It's huge. It's huge.
Phoenix,
huge
yeah,
city.
I know Phoenix is up there too, dude. I mean, that's crazy to think about. I mean, China's got 1 billion plus people there, so you'd imagine that their cities are huge.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many conspiracies going on about coronavirus too, like that it started in a lab or that it was like genetically
kind of
modified.
Annoying at this point.
Yeah, like there's a lot of different things. Or there's other things. It was a long time ago though. But do you know who Novak Djokovic is? You have any idea who that is?
Tennis player from where is he from? Croatia?
I
Serbia?
think Serbia. I want to say Serbia. So he's like a really famous tennis player. Like he's probably like top 3 in the world, if not 1 in the world, behind like Roger Federer. Maybe he might even be better than Roger Federer now.
Obviously not in Roger Federer's prime, but
yeah. So this guy Novak Djokovic, his wife, at one point, it had to have been like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, she tweeted out about 5G, like the towers that they're putting in 5G, and they're saying. So she was essentially, she put it on Instagram. I think it was Instagram. She put it on Instagram saying that coronavirus is almost like a mirage, or like like that sort of thing, that they're just like, they're putting it in your face. Coronavirus is in your face when they kind of want to distract you from
building these towers,
building the 5Gs. And then she was like, oh, have you felt any headaches lately? Oh, it's due to these 5G. Don't believe coronavirus. It's fake. Like, and she put that on Instagram. And obviously, you know, she's a famous person because, you know, she's married to this guy. Yeah. I don't really know what she does. She might be famous on her own.
When did this happen?
I think maybe a month ago or 2 months ago. It had to been, probably like 2 months ago. I'd say probably, like two or so months ago. But she put it on Instagram, and Instagram, you know how Instagram or like Facebook or social media, they put like sensitive content or like a warning before you click on, you know, their story. They put like, oh, you know, warning, you know, viewer descriptions of eyes, whatever. They did that, but instead of like the sensitive content, they put like almost like fake news, like this is misinformation. So they put that on her post, like saying this is not, you know, good information. Don't believe it, but you can still click on it and watch it. So she kind of got like, you know, shit on for saying the 5Gs. But there's a lot of like those sort of conspiracies.
They were saying the same thing about 4G though.
Yeah, like 4G.
If you guys remember, like back in 2012,
like radiation.
They were saying the same shit.
Yeah.
I just don't believe fucking anything anymore.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like
I don't believe anything from the news. I don't believe anything from these people on social media. Like
the death count skewed even in America. People die from a car accident. They just happen to have COVID and they count it as a COVID death.
Did you guys listen to Elon Musk on Joe Rogan?
Yeah, wasn't he saying something that it's proof? He was like, there is no debate. It is fact that they are counting deaths, like specifically.
Any death, like if it was a flu or something, which people die from flu a lot.
Yeah,
they'll call it coronavirus. Like anything they're calling coronavirus because hospitals are getting like a bunch of money for treating coronavirus.
Wow. So the hospitals are benefiting from people.
Yeah.
That
if they say you came in and got on a ventilator or whatever, they'll get paid like $37,000.
What the hell, just per person?
And I heard that's what he was saying. Are horrible, dude. I heard sometime even from that. I think it was Joe Rogan's podcast. He was talking to Michael Yo, a guy who had COVID, and he was put on. No. He wasn't put on a ventilator, and the doctor said that if they do put him on a ventilator, he'll die. He will I don't know. Like that's I have weird. No idea. They probably do help. I have freaking no
But you would
clue.
think that, you know, those people that are put on a ventilator, like ventilators are almost like the last kind of
resort.
Right. Yeah. Like, you know, for
this guy can't breathe.
Yeah. So you would assume that those people that are put on ventilators are already pretty much, you know, dying. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I'm not sure, but
probably right. It definitely has some kind of causal effect.
It's just sketchy, man. Like, cause you really don't know. And that's kind of what the media has done to, and I would say, we're probably on like the majority, right? Like, you know, some people are definitely watching, you know, the news and watching, you know, whatever, believing it. I feel like most people, you would hope, right, that most people are kind of like on the same page as us, where it's like,
you just can't believe anything.
Yeah, they've kind of shoved it down your throat so much that it's like, man, I don't want it anymore. Like, nah, like, yeah.
You would think we would think since Corona was such a big problem, like I would have gotten sick.
Right, yeah.
Because I took it seriously, but at the same time, like I was still going to the grocery store once or two a day, like twice a day, or not twice a day, like pretty often,
twice
just as
a week
normal.
Or whatever.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to go to the grocery store. It's like, it's something that you have to, unless you stocked up a ridiculous amount, like you're going to the apocalypse or something. Like you have to go to the store. Like, and that's what some people were preparing for, like the apocalypse, like something, and that's kind of also goes back to like the media's fault. Like they made it seem like it's something, like you said, it's like they made it seem like it's like the end all be all, like this is it, this is how everybody's gonna go.
Did you guys ever go to the grocery store when it was like insane?
Oh yeah,
bro, that was crazy.
It was,
bro.
It seemed like the apocalypse, dude. It seemed like, you know, you're walking in and everything off of the shelves, like there's nothing there anymore.
Carts, he had two carts, carrying around 2 carts full of crap.
People were like, I will never forgive people for that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
like,
dude.
I remember me and my girl went to go make dinner or whatever. So we went for pasta and chicken. That's all I wanted. And people were like rushing in and out, like just going crazy, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Gave me no stress. I mean, gave me stress for no reason.
For no reason. Yeah. I mean, you know, it's still kind of going on. It's still around. You know, who really knows?
They never wore masks here. Like they did. I want to say like it was always half and half.
Yeah.
In California, right? I'm pretty sure it was You have to.
And people will shame you, I guess. Like I hear that. If you're not wearing it, like you'll get shamed.
Really? And in some states, it's like the opposite. If you wear it, you get shamed.
Yeah. And I think some guy said I think it was Andrew Schultz, another Joe Rogan podcast. He said he was in his Uber in, I think, California. And who was it? Gosh, I can't remember. He just said that he had his mask on and they were fogging up his glasses and he just lowered it, like his nose. And the driver, the Uber driver was like, hey, put your mask on.
Oh my gosh.
I think that was Miko. I think Miko said that. Yeah, he said he was in California. He's in California. You know who Miko is?
Oh, I thought you meant someone. Miko Cemental?
Yeah.
I thought you meant someone like.
No, yeah, I think it was him. I think he was telling a story because he went to California not too long ago.
It was him. Why the hell was I thinking Joe Rogan?
Yeah, because he said he went like either the second or third day that California opened, like when everything kind of, well, it's still not really open like you said, but like some things, opened up or whatever.
Yeah, I remember seeing.
But he said that he was over there and he was taking an Uber and he just took the mask a little bit off and the Uber driver like immediately noticed and was like, yeah, put that
He's got a beautiful baby.
Oh, that little kid. Dude, we saw him yesterday. Yeah, we saw him. Yeah.
He's a pudge though.
Yeah.
Dude, he's cute, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Lil Levi or Big Levi. That's a big guy. Yeah, Big L's. Yeah.
Big L.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's crazy though. Like going back to that sort of thing. Like, we're let's say 5 or 6 years, 7 years removed from high school, and we're seeing these dudes. Kids. Yeah, these dudes who are now parents, or these these dudettes that are now parents, and it's just it's strange. It's strange to me because I feel like I'm still kind of in that mindset of like being a little kid or being like immature or things like that. It's like I don't know when I'm actually going to transition to being an immature kid into like an adult. I don't know if there's even a transition that exists. Like when I'm younger, I'm like, oh, I can't wait until I'm an adult. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's funny.
And now it's like, I'm 25 years old and I still feel like a little kid. It's like I don't know if that transition actually exists. Maybe it exists when you get a child. Like maybe that when it kind of clicks or when you kind of change it, things like that. I don't know because I don't have one.
Some people definitely jumped right into it though.
Yeah, oh for sure. I mean,
we were 18 or whatever, and people were getting married, and I was like, damn.
I mean, if you can afford it, right? If you have the money for it, go for it, right?
I guess.
Go for it. It's tough though, dude. It's like a it's a huge commitment. But back in the day, I mean, it was normal for people to be married at 18 or be married, And
things
now,
were so different though.
Yeah, exactly. Things were very different, and we have progressed a lot. I read somewhere, going back to the news, I think it was in college actually. One of my teachers said that, I might have mentioned this already, I don't know, but one of my teachers said that, or professor, they're not a teacher, they're professors. Yeah, they're professors. Yeah, they took their time to become a professor. So my professor said that crime as a whole, like in general, has gone way down from from where we were from America's history. Like crime as a whole has gone way down, but in terms of like the media portraying crime or reporting crime, that has gone way up. And so in our minds, it's like, oh, dude, there's so much bad going on. There's so many things. And it was the same professor. I keep wanting to say teacher, but it was the same professor who said that if somebody spends, let's say, like 6 hours watching TV, they're going to think that, I can't remember what it was, like the crime rate or whatever it was. Like they're going to think that the crime rate is way higher than what it actually is. Yeah. And it was just like a study based on how many hours of TV you watch a day. So that's what it was. So the more TV you watch, the more you think that the world is bad. The more you think that the world is on fire or whatever. So that's what she was saying, and it kind of makes sense, because all you see on TV, all you see on the news is bad stuff. It is, it's that sort of thing. But as in general, as a whole, like we've definitely gotten better from where we were. But
did you watch The Office?
Yeah.
What's his name? Jim.
Yep.
The actor's name, I don't
John
remember.
Krasinski.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. He was, during this whole thing, he was releasing like good news or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Where he would just release, instead of showing bad news, like you were saying, which like it was just everything on TV, he was mostly putting good news.
That's good.
Like on his YouTube channel, like he blew up.
That's good, dude. Yeah. That's good. I mean, people also want, like people exactly. That's what I was about to say. Like it's a complete change. Like people going from watching bad stuff all day, like they want to change. They want to see good, and I mean, it's a good thing that there's something out there that.
Do you know like an example of what he was posting? Like what would be good news? Like, I don't know, someone getting cured from coronavirus, like a little kid who.
I did see a video of like, it was just like a compilation of like 90-year-olds or like older people that beat coronavirus, and they're like dancing and stuff. And it was just like going from one old lady to an old man. It's just like a compilation that was very like uplifting. That was like actually good news to see.
That's crazy. I couldn't even think of one good news.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because we're almost like
2020, man, has been crazy.
It has been very crazy from the jump, dude, going from from Kobe's death. III. Yeah, from World War III, thinking that, we're going to go, North Korea is going to bomb us or whatever it is. They're going to nuke us.
Those memes were freaking awesome.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, the internet just keeps winning, dude. You go on the internet right now and they're just making memes, even though it's like such a like, I don't want to say like controversial or sensitive. It's, with the whole George Floyd thing, like there's still memes that are out there, that people are making fun of. But it goes back to even Kobe's death. Like people are making fun of that sort of stuff. And it's almost, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but it is funny. It does kind of like, like comedians, they shit on 9/11 or they shit on bad things that happen. And it's almost like to kind of brighten up the mood or lighten the mood up. And it helps, at least me, it helps me a little bit. It just, puts a smile on my face. Like I'd rather have a smile than a frown, right?
I mean, that's really what comedy is. Comedy is laughing at someone else's pain.
Yeah, and I think
if you see someone eating shit falling, you're gonna laugh.
You're gonna laugh, yeah. Or you might look away, but you're gonna secretly laugh or whatever.
You brought up a really good point. Like they were making fun of people or ridiculing people on Twitter for making memes about coronavirus because it's the typical argument is, oh, people have died. You see how many thousands of people have died from COVID, and you're joking about it. When exactly what you said, I'm sure people have died falling down the stairs. So if I see someone trip on a stair, I can't laugh. Like, I don't know. If you can't joke about murder, or dying, then
I heard somewhere that actually less people have been dying because less people are driving, or like when coronavirus was at its peak. Literally there was like not a lot of people on the road because no one could go anywhere. And less people were dying because, in general. Because people, I mean, car accidents are huge.
Yeah, huge, very huge. That makes perfect sense. Like there is some good that's coming out of this kind of pandemic. Like, the air is cleaner, the water's cleaner, people are cleaner in general.
People are traveling for bullshit.
For
their job where you don't really have to. I mean, we have the technology to
exactly, and that's the other thing. Anyone. Like work now, like companies are now able to kind of transition from kind of the standard going to the office, and now it's like you're working from home. And essentially you're doing the same thing, you're doing the same thing from home that you can be doing at work. Like I get it that you're at home and you have more distractions, but you can still work and do the same work that you can do at the office.
Yeah.
So there is some good that's coming from it. That's for sure. Like I said, people are cleaner. People are taking care of themselves more. They're washing their hands. They're washing their ass. They're doing the things that they need to do. But like there is some good. Obviously, the bad is that people are dying. People are getting sick, but you can always look at the other side.
Some fire ass music right now.
Yeah, that's true. Like with people, but no one's dropped anything, right? No one.
Dude, these rappers are lazy, bro.
You want to tour your music, you want to tour for your album, and it's kind of up in the air.
That's a good point. Like comedians and stuff, they can't tour. Like sporting events, there's like no fans. But
I mean, with comedians, you could still like watch their podcast.
Because they can.
But I even saw like live stream comedy shows. Oh yeah, that's just not. That's not it.
It's not the same.
You need to be there. Like you need.
I wonder if like one person's gonna come out and be like amazing at it, and that's gonna be their
like a trend niche, or something. Yeah, their niche. Yeah.
But it's like I think comedy is more about like not more, but it's timing. Like you need to time your jokes and let the laugh roll and then say something.
Yeah.
If you're not hearing a response. Like you remember the NFL draft? They had fans on like a TV celebrating for their draft. Like woo!
You guys are big sports guys, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been so off of sports for like the past.
That's good. I mean,
7 years.
Sports is.
I haven't watched a single NFL game since. I've only watched a Super Bowl game.
That's it. Yeah, that's just it. Once a year.
That's the only sporting event like I watch. I watch UFC fights every now and then. Mm-hmm. But dude, I'm like,
you're just off of it. I mean, sports. Yeah, I get both ways. Like I get, like sports is, it's like not essential. It's not like something.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. Like, and you keep track of the stats or whatever, the wins and losses. But we don't really go that deep into it. But like, people say that sports is like kind of nonsense because it's not anything of value. Like, your team wins or your team loses. Like, okay, well, it's not a big deal regardless. Like, people freak out, dude. When your team loses or your team loses Super Bowl, there's people that freak out or. They start burning their.
That's really why I stopped watching.
Yeah,
sports.
They kill their TV or they like crush it or whatever. And at the same time, like sports, I feel like I would definitely, if I had a kid, I would definitely put my kid in sports just because of like the social aspect and them getting in shape and them like just knowing about teamwork and being involved and listening to the authority and that sort of thing. But I do see the other side where people are like not interested in sports at all because it is kind of like nonsense, or it's like kind of like,
no, like I'm down to play sports, and I played sports like all growing up, but after high school where I stopped playing sports, keeping up with shit,
it was like
like I just stopped.
Yeah,
and trying to get back into it, it's tough.
It is,
like,
yeah.
You're like, okay, who is this guy? Who is this
recruit
or whatever?
Right,
blah, blah, blah.
Because who are the like the superstars now in the NFL, or who are the superstars?
Like I know the big things. I mean, I keep up with like. Yeah. I mean, like, Tom Brady's going to Tampa or whatever. Yeah. Like, I keep up with that shit.
Because those are big news that you see on Twitter.
But I couldn't tell you, other than Gronk and Tom Brady, like, I don't know
who else is on the Tampa Bay. Yeah.
Like, I don't know anything.
And like, I completely understand that too. Like, because it is, I don't want to keep saying nonsense, but that's kind of like the word that keeps coming into my head. But it's like,
dude, don't they say millionaires, right? They're millionaires for playing a child's game.
Yeah, playing a little kid's game.
You know what's crazy? That the NCAA in California, or I think, did they make it nationwide? They're gonna get paid or whatever.
I think for sure California, where the NCAA athletes, they're
based off incentives, right?
I used to be so against that. Like, what the fuck? Like they're already
they're getting free tuition. Yeah, right.
But that's not the case for all athletes, I guess, right?
Yeah, not all of them, but most of them, I would say, are definitely on a full ride. And if you're not on a full ride and you're an athlete, like, it kind of like makes you seem like you're good, you know, like you're rich, you come from a wealthy family, because, you know, you are going to college, someone's paying for it, either you're paying for it, your parents are paying for it.
Walk-ons, right?
And then you have the time to go play sports and practice and stuff. Like, I don't know, like it is very, like, it's hard to say, because it's very complicated for a school to then pay a college athlete. Because you're obviously we talked about this before, but you're obviously going to pay like the quarterback more than you're going to pay like a tennis player. You're going to pay a golf player.
I mean, just business.
Yeah, right. So it's very complicated. And some schools are tanking. Like, some schools don't make any money. And how are they going to pay?
Football?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How are they going to pay? How are they going to pay?
Now with no fans, like next year, for some universities are canceling sports completely, because most, let's say D1, I don't know how D2, but let's say the basics D1, basketball and football are usually the only sports that make money. And the rest of the sports not only don't make money, they lose money. It's kind of like the NBA and the WNBA. Do you think the WNBA makes money? Fuck no, dude. They don't make any money. If the NBA wasn't supporting them, they wouldn't be afloat.
How much do they get paid, those women?
It's less than $100,000.
Yeah.
Most of them get paid.
But they're still getting paid well, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about $70K, maybe.
Yeah, it's
compared to some.
It's a job.
Argue, like, who was it? It was Harrison Barnes. He was an Olympian. He was okay. I think he won an NBA championship. I can't remember how much he was getting paid a year. I think it was above $20 million for that dude who, do you even know who Harrison Barnes is? Like,
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So she was a WNBA player. I can't remember who it was. She was arguing that, I think she was a star in the NBA, one of the best players. I want to say it was like Sue Bird, or, man, I can't remember. But they said, Harrison Barnes is some bum, and he's getting paid $20 million when I'm one of the best players in the WNBA, and I'm not even making $1 million. But you don't make any money at all. Like, no one, it's not like, I respect women, obviously, but sports, they don't make any money.
Yeah.
Only maybe gymnastics or the women's soccer team. Those are the ones who are kind of gaining.
Yeah, the soccer team. Yeah, the soccer team. They're always kind of around. Like, you see them a lot. You see them on TV. You see them when.
Yeah, they're the big ones, right?
Yeah.
Same pay, but like, didn't they signed like some contract, right?
I don't know. I have no idea. Actually, I have no idea.
But they're good. They're actually good. Like, they're winning World Cups. They're better than the men historically.
Yeah, but it's definitely tough, because it's just not as exciting, and that's the truth. You know, like watching a WNBA game versus an NBA game. Like, if you get lucky in a WN game, you'll see one dunk. If you get lucky, you'll see one. And then NBA, they're throwing alley-oops, they're throwing between the legs, and it's just more entertaining to watch. And that's obviously where the money is, because sports is entertainment. Like anything is really entertainment. And I hate to say it, but women in sports aren't just they're just not as good. Like, they're just not as good. And it sucks to say, because you want the women to do good, but it just doesn't translate into the money. It doesn't translate into.
I mean, it's a
the money
difficult conversation.
Yeah.
It's just not as fun to watch.
That's the only thing. Like, physically, like, obviously most men are going to beat the crap out of a woman. That dude, Joe Rogan, I think it was one of his bits in stand-up was he was like, I respect women. He only has daughters. He's like, I love my women. I want them to succeed. I want them to grow and progress in this world. But I could kick their ass. He was like, even with the flu, I could kick their ass. Even if I was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to take a bathroom break.
No, bathroom break. Go ahead, dude. Yeah, go ahead.
This is the first one.
Yeah, no worries.
You're saying no one's done it.
No worries, dude. You gotta do what you gotta do,
I
bro.
really got to. I'm like shaking.
No worries, dude. If you walk out, it's on the right. You said it'll be on the right side. Damn, shouts out Julian. He's gotta go to the bathroom, bro. Should we keep recording?
How did we end up? How did we end up on this, dude? Like, what ended up us talking about women's sports? I said the NFL draft.
Yeah. And then Julian said something about
him not watching
sports. Exactly right. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Like that, women can do anything else, dude. Anything. Intellectually, scientists. I don't know, evolution. I don't know how far you want to go into that shit, dude. But women in general men have always been the one that go out and get the food, get the shit, and they're more risk taking.
Go out hunting and things like that. Like back in the day, like with cavemen, like back when, when as humans or as Neanderthals, whatever, we had to go out and hunt our food. Like it would be the men to go out and hunt, just because evolution has physically given the men the advantage.
Yeah, most even female like animals stay with the children, stay with the cubs, stay and protect them. And normally the men are the more ruthless ones, and women are the ones who kind of keep them down. I guess humans wise, men are the more risk takers, aggressive, more ruthless, and a woman is there to kind of calm them. That's why women are usually better caretakers than men in terms of nurses or senior citizen care. Women are just more affectionate than men, for sure, in general. Obviously, that's
stereotypically
generalization. But.
And that's how history has been, and like you said, how animals are. That's just the nature of things. But that's not to say that women are less than men. Like, not at all. Like my girl is definitely smarter than me. She's more like emotionally in tune, and she's the one kind of guiding me through kind of this life, and I can still, and not that I would, but I could beat her ass. I'm just saying, so we kind of got into how sort of in nature and how things have always kind of been, where men are kind of like the ones that are out doing the physical activities, while women are kind of, and again, this is stereotypically and just based off of history and things like that, where women are the ones that are taking care of the kids and men are going out hunting and things like that. But that's not to say that women are less than men. Here, you can point me a little bit too. But that women are less than men.
I'll take a little bit.
But because I was going into, I was like, my girl, she's almost like my guide in this life, and I'm sure your girlfriend is kind of the same thing, where your girl is the one that's guiding you through life and making sure that you don't make the stupid mistakes, or that, because without her, I probably, I would get into some trouble. I probably would be, not doing this. I might be, in jail or doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing. So she's almost guiding me. She's she's the smarter one. She's the more intelligent one, more emotionally just in tune with things and kind of how life works. Cause we're kind of they're out.
The statistic that I'm thinking of is men. So I think women attempt suicide more often than men, but men actually do it. Men actually commit suicide more than women. Because women attempt it more.
Don't they? Isn't that because men tend to do it more often with a gun?
Yeah,
we're more aggressive. Yeah.
While women will
cut their wrist or take pills or
drink some bleach or some shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Freaking black.
What was that thing that we were talking about?
We were talking, I don't know why it came to mind.
Yeah, what you got?
Little Julia?
Oh yeah, I got you.
It was Amanda Todd. You remember Amanda Todd, dude?
You have any idea who Amanda Todd is?
No.
Is that name ever?
She an athlete?
No, it was probably 5 years ago. I'm sure some people, I have no idea, but the people, I think they remember. She was not famous. I think she was a 13 or 14-year-old girl who recorded herself on YouTube. You know those videos that have cards? They don't show their face. They'll show their neck, and they have little cards, and they'll be I want
just flashcards or big kind of just regular old paper or whatever.
I did this and that.
They write it on the paper.
And then they switch the card. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
So she released the video like that. She was saying that I think she accidentally gave nude photos to someone who she trusted.
Like on Omegle or some shit, actually. I think what it was like some...
And they got leaked, I'm guessing.
Yeah, right. And the dude obviously started showing...
Like blackmailing and things like that.
Blackmailing her, and she tried to drink bleach, and she attempted suicide, but she didn't kill herself. I think she recorded that video, hung herself, she died, and then it all, like, her video blew up. It got millions of views, and then I'm sure it sparked a kind of discussion on cyberbullying. That was mainly the thing. But, I don't know. Like, Alex didn't remember. I remember her name for some reason.
And she attempted suicide one time, and she went and tried to drink bleach was her thing, and somehow she survived. Like
that's so tough.
Yeah, she got like her stomach pumped, and I remember I was just reading like her Wikipedia page. It was just random. I can't even remember why we brought it up.
Actually try to kill herself.
Yeah.
Like she did. Like sad to say.
Right.
Because if she really wanted to die, like
then you would
drink
bleach. Gallon, bro.
Yeah. Like, or you jump off a bridge, or you do something.
What probably happened is she drank it. She went to the hospital. She got it pumped. And she still got shitted on. Like, I can't believe you did this.
Right. Yeah.
And then she killed herself.
Yeah, exactly.
She wanted attention, and sadly, she didn't get it.
And she was almost like the figurehead of like cyberbullying, and that's kind of how like cyberbullying like started, because she showed like, a little titty or whatever it was on Omegle. That dude, recorded it. I know. But at the same time, that goes back to like with the comedian thing. It's like,
you said titty.
Yeah. We're little kids again. Like we go back to the immature stuff. Like
adults do not exist, dude.
Yeah. It's things are funny. Like Dave Chappelle said it. Like it's funny until it happens to you. Like it's funny until you're the one going through it, and it's. It is funny. Like you said, like you brought up the example of somebody tripping, or it's just funny, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, like it, and it's good to laugh at the same time. Like I also saw somewhere, I think it was a TED Talk, maybe. It was like the TED Talk was over like smiling, like being happy or like smiling, and it was like if you smile, if you're in a bad mood and you fake smile,
I've heard that before,
for like a minute or a couple minutes, whatever, however long it is. It'll like put you in a better mood. Like you'll like
trick your brain into thinking.
Exactly. And that's, that's where comedy is. It's like, it's such a bad thing. It's such a horrible thing that happened. But, if we make jokes about it, then, we can get over it. And going back, I mean, I love Dave Chappelle.
Same.
He also said, that it's right now is the time to speak kind of like, without caring, like, cause people are trying to censor us. Like they're trying to censor, there's a little thing on there's like a knob at the top.
You can tighten it.
Yeah. So Dave Chappelle was saying, like now is the time to talk recklessly. Like now is the time to say these, kind of mean,
is this on a special?
Hurtful things. I think it was, it was on one of the Netflix specials that he had, but he said, now is the time to talk recklessly because people are trying to censor us. People are trying to limit the things that, we're saying. And he said that, if we don't talk recklessly, then my kids aren't going to know what reckless talk even is. Like my kids or their kids, my grandchildren, they're going to have no idea what, making jokes is even about, or, that sort of thing. And it is another going back, like it's just a touchy subject just to say these sort of things. Like Dave Chappelle gets shit on, there's bad articles about him, talking about the transphobic, community and things like that. And I see it both ways. I see why Dave Chappelle is saying what he's saying, and I also see why the transphobic community is saying what they're saying. And at this point in time, it's like people are forcing you to choose a side. Like you're either on Dave Chappelle's side, or you're either on the transphobic community, or on the trans community. I don't know why I said transphobic. On the trans community side, you can't be somewhere in the middle. Like you can't agree with both sides, and that's kind of how I think. Goes back to Trump, like he kind of like made it that way, or kind of the media or the coverage that started with Trump. It's like you're either got to pick a side, like you're either with Hillary or you're with Trump, and that's it. You can't pick a side. You can't It
sucks. It has to be that way.
Yeah, like you can't be in the middle. You can't be an independent anymore. You have to be a conservative or you have to be a liberal.
Because I've been asked before, like, oh, are you more liberal or more conservative?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with both sides.
There's things that I like about lower taxes.
Yeah,
and stuff
exactly.
like that.
Less government,
free market.
And
then I like people's rights.
Yeah, exactly. Like it goes both ways. Happy. And at this point in time, it's like, we can't we can't even, say these sort of things, and we probably shouldn't be saying them right now, but not too many people watch anyway, so or listen.
What if you post this one and it blows
up, but just people start shitting on us.
No, I'm just kidding.
People start. I mean, we do need the clout, though. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know, like with America, what you were saying, like free market. America is both ways as well. They're not just 100% capitalist. They're not 100% socialist. Like Alex, during Alex's job, what did Trump do? Like a tariff on China, right?
Right, the China tariff,
And it affects the production. And so Americans are trading with another country. And no. So let's say a company receives their products from China and Trump implements some kind of tariff. So that company still wants to get that product, but they're going to end up paying more. So at the end of the day, when they sell off their product, they're going to sell it for more money. So
and that's exactly what it was.
He had to explain to his customers that, I'm sorry, like there's a tariff on Chinese products. We've raised our prices because we had to pay more. So,
but wasn't it China first had tariffs on our products? So then what Trump was trying to do was like,
he was like
I can win it, like
right. And
like it was doing this unfairly. Like if I wanted tariffs, like I could fuck you up. And
exactly.
That's what he's doing.
And it was like a trade war. That's exactly what it was. It was called a trade war. So I think you're right. I think China kind of started it where they were, taxing it a little bit extra, putting the tariffs on American products that they were receiving. So Trump went back and was like, okay, well, I'm going to do the same thing back to you.
So my point is that that's socialism. You can't mess like me. I can't trade with a Mexican guy. I can't sell products without interfering with American tariffs or American controls your trade.
It's just not a completely free market.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So that's a little bit socialism. That's a little bit control of government. Although there are Republicans and conservatives who believe that America is like free market capitalism, even though there are certain things that aren't free market.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
It goes both ways. Like the whole thing was, we're getting Chinese products. We're getting, these screws and nuts and bolts from China. And then we're kind of like the middlemen. So we get it from China. China dumps it off to us. We import it from China. And they gotta, go through the ocean, and it takes a while.
However they get it here.
Yeah, it takes a while by boat. Yeah, most of the times it's by boat. So most of the times it is by boat, and so we had to send out a letter to everybody saying, it raised. I can't remember. It was kind of a ridiculous amount of money, like how much it was raised, and then the customers are like, well, what the heck, like what's why? And
it hurts us more. Yeah, like, it doesn't hurt China or the U.S. as a whole. It hurts more the consumers.
Yeah, exactly.
That burden of
it's an extra money. Yeah, so
gets put on the price of whatever the product is.
Exactly right. And I don't know, really, like kind of what you were saying, like the socialism kind of like deal about it. I don't really think about it like that. It's just more like it's real. Like that's the reality of it, and you just got to deal with it, dude. That's just the way it is. I don't agree with it, but I see it on both sides. Like.
There's this new docu-series thing on Netflix. I forget what it's called, but it's like, oh shit, I just farted a little bit. Cut that out.
Cut that out. I'll let it out.
It's called History 101 on Netflix.
Okay.
And one of them is China. Dude, China wasn't shit like before the 80s or whatever.
Really?
And that was part of the deal. Like, oh, you're going to bring your American business into China? We're going to put a tax on it so that we could...
Just for cheaper labor, right? That's why American companies want to kind of want to settle into.
It's like, oh, you're kind of taking advantage of this. We're going to put a tax, which is a tariff, so that you can't completely take full advantage of us.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And now that China's blowing up and catching up to us, it's like, oh, like you have a tariff on us.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that I do like about Donald Trump is what he's doing with China.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's kind of like leveling them out.
Yeah, right, exactly. They have. For whatever reason, the last 30 years or 40 years, they've gained a lot of power. They've, developed a lot. And it probably goes to their communism. Like it probably, because they're kind of like, it's us versus everybody else. So it's like, we got to work on us and we're kind of secluded. They don't even have like YouTube over there. I think they have their own version of YouTube, but it's not actual YouTube. They can't watch, actual what we got going on.
Banned certain things. Like I think there was a Tom Cruise movie where the enemy that he was killing was Chinese. So the Chinese wanted to play that movie, but the Americans switched their version a little bit and made it so, let's say, they were attacking Russians instead of Chinese. So in America, you view this and you see Tom Cruise attacking Chinese people, but in China, Tom Cruise is attacking Russians. Like, we have to...
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of examples of Americans changing their product in order to accommodate for like China.
So they almost have to make like two versions of the movie?
Exactly.
So they got to make the American version of the movie and then the Chinese version of the movie?
Even just symbols. Like, I can't remember, there's a lot of examples where there's like a Chinese symbol on like something and they have to take that out because they don't like it or something or whatever. I'm not sure.
It kind of goes to like The Interview, right? You see The Interview?
North Korea.
Yeah, that movie's funny, dude.
North Korea hacked Sony after that shit.
Really? What?
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
Remember that? It was like that movie came out 2013.
Yeah,
14.
let's say give or take, right?
And I'm pretty sure they like hacked Sony. Remember that big Sony hack?
I don't.
Yeah, man.
Really?
They're pissed off.
Really?
Did they get in there? Like, what do they do? Like, obviously, when you're hacking somebody, you can definitely fuck with them and do something. You're not there for good, right?
PlayStation Network was down for like a month.
Just because the North Koreans...
Because they needed to rebuild their firewall and whatever the fuck they needed to do.
What the hell?
But it was like serious business. Something like that.
That's interesting. I had no idea. All over because of the movie? That's the reason why?
Yeah, I think. Or did you hear about how Kim Jong-un, right?
Yeah.
He faked his death.
The recent one?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, was it? So
he faked his death so he could see,
who's his allies and who's like his enemies are and things like
people
that.
Who were trying to backstab him.
If his enemies like come out and or like he doesn't know, maybe it's his friend or whatever. Like
he wanted to see who was loyal.
Right, and that's very smart, dude. And he's got the power to do that. He's definitely got the power and stuff. Dude, that's crazy.
Did you see that video of his brother getting fucking iced in like an airport in Japan or China?
Wait, what do you mean iced?
Watching that? Like killed. Like
he meant like Smirnoff. Right?
Yeah, here's a Smirnoff, bro. Take your knee and drink that shit up.
Got iced.
Like you find it. Oh shoot, damn.
He was at an airport in like China or Japan or something, and he was against Kim Jong-un's regime. He was not for it. I don't know if I think he was.
I think he was the natural heir. I think he was like the firstborn of whatever.
Was just like, nah, fuck off. Like, you're not down, and he could tell. So wait,
there's a video of him getting killed.
There's a video of him at an airport. Someone walks up to him with a cloth and wipes it on his nose, like he's like on the phone or something. Some woman walks up to him, wipes a cloth on his face, and he starts telling like the officials at the airport, I just got attacked, like they did something to me. And they're trying to figure it out, and boom, he dies of like a seizure. He starts seizing out and he dies.
It's probably like, what's that thing, like chloroform or something like that?
Yeah, does that make you pass out or something?
Yeah, something like
Maybe
that, like some sort of poison.
I don't know.
Well, they for sure killed him. Like, it was for sure planned to kill that dude.
Yeah, I mean, they don't mess around, dude. They're probably gonna listen to this and they're trying to hack our shit right now, dude. They're like, dude.
I'm reading it, dude. It says, Guardians of the Peace like leaked a release of confidential data from film studio Sony Pictures, and it included personal information about Sony employees and their families, emails between employees, information. And yeah, it says during the hack, the group demanded that Sony withdraw its then upcoming film, The Interview, a comedy about North Korea and Kim Jong-un.
That's crazy, man.
Hey, I asked you a little bit before we started. Why did you guys start the podcast?
Just, I don't know, just to do something, right? Just to, because, it's kind of like we're just watching TV, we're playing video games on our off time, and it's like, might as well do something, might as well get, and it's cool too. Like for example, like I haven't talked to you in a long time. Yeah. Like I haven't seen you or talked to you in a very long time. And through this, like it's gotten you,
made a reason.
Yeah. Right. And it's gotten you to sit down, and it's cool to talk to you. And it's been a long time. Like it's cool to catch up and say things and, have these kind of like weird conversations. So it is kind of bringing people that I haven't talked to or that he hasn't talked to in a while and bringing us back together. It's just something to do, right? Like it's just something like now I'm learning a new skill. Like now I'm, editing video or I'm editing, audio. It's like just something to do because, after a while, like you realize that watching TV or playing video games is like, I'm not that good at video games. Like I try so hard to play Call of Duty and I'm just ass, bro. I'm ass. Like I try. It's almost like, I play Call of Duty. I try to get good, and then I'm ass. I'm like, 3 for 15.
And you get discouraged.
And I get discouraged, and I'm like, yeah, fuck it. I'm not playing no more. I don't want to play no more. And, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I'm never going to be good at video games, or just because I do get discouraged, like you said. So it's like, let's try something else. Like, let's just try something else.
And that's where the name came in.
What?
Under the Influenza.
Oh, that, I don't know.
That was before COVID.
Yeah.
That was
really?
It was.
It was like way in like January.
Wow.
There is some lost episodes. I will say that. There's some lost episodes. Yeah.
So when did you guys start recording then?
Well,
late January.
The first
right
time, probably like late January, like right around like when Kobe died. Yeah,
exactly. That's what I was gonna say.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it was like right around that time.
Damn.
And we recorded and stuff, and I don't know, it just kind of wasn't. We recorded, I think, how many, like 5 or 6 episodes?
Was it mostly just you two, or did you?
Yeah,
guys
it was just us two. Yeah, it was just us two.
I was gonna say, when he was explaining why we started it, me and him throughout our whole lifetime, I guess, we have just. Like some nights I'll sit here in his room, or he'll sit in my room, and maybe we are playing video games or watching TV, but really we're just talking. We talk about whatever, like just how we just did. We had no notes of anything, we had nothing. We were just talking, and you lead into one thing, into the other, and that's what me and him would just do at nights. Like we would, let's say, start talking at like 8 or 9, and the next thing we knew, it was fucking midnight. Yeah. And we spent the whole night talking, and it was interesting. Like, I don't know.
Those are the best conversations.
Yeah,
where you're like, damn.
Just talking shop, just,
It's 3 a.m.
And like right now, like how long do you think that we've been on right now? Like how long? We've had this conversation.
I've been thinking that.
How long do you think it's been?
I'm like, how long?
How long do you think it's been? I mean, you probably check your phone, right? You probably know.
I
very rarely.
Yeah, I didn't check like what time we started, and I did not see what time it is right now.
It's been an hour and a half.
Oh shit!
An hour and a half. Yeah, so it's like that. It's just like interesting kind of conversations, and might as well record them, right? Just to see and to get your perspective on things, or any other perspective. Like we're not going to shy away from like arguments or anything like that. If you have something to say and we're differing, we have different opinions. Me and him, like we're very different. Like I don't want to put him on blast.
It's cool because like you guys. It seems like you guys are pretty much the same vibe, though.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like we're like I don't know. Like we're like kind of the same person or what?
Kind of.
No, we're definitely different. Like there's things that he says where I'm like, dude, you're wrong, and
I like that. I like it when like I want to hear, like if I go in on some stupid rant, I want to hear someone be like, dude, that's bullshit. Like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because then it maybe allows me to defend my point or to understand someone else's perspective,
and to learn and to change.
Arguing is good. I feel like it's a skill.
Exactly.
It is
that we all need to practice,
and it's just open dialogue, open discussion. Like it kind of sucks seeing these people, like these famous people nowadays, like where 10 years ago they said something wrong, and now it gets blown up, and now they're like, they get fired for whatever it is, when
canceled.
Maybe the cancel culture, and in 10 years, like who's to say that they didn't learn any better, or that they didn't educate themselves and change their opinion or whatever it is. Exactly. But it's just the dialogue. It's our First Amendment, the freedom of speech. And what was that saying? The Second Amendment's for what? What's the first?
The First Amendment is the Second Amendment is there for if the First Amendment doesn't work.
Second Amendment is gun rights.
So it's there in case the first one doesn't work. So you fucking pop off.
Yeah, man.
Even like that dude we were talking about, David Dobrik, he has these tweets where he used I don't want to say it, the homophobic F word, and then he used the N word a couple times. But even today, he's like 23, 24, and he sent those tweets when he was like 15, 16 years old, and it wasn't anything homophobic. He was just saying like, I'm playing outside like a F word. Okay. I'm playing, and he's like, what are you doing today? N word, and he's white. He's obviously Slovenian. He's not black. But that was when he was 15, 16, and he wasn't popular back then. He was just talking to his friends. He was just tweeting to, and that's what Twitter was back then. It was just kind of funny.
Yeah, you remember the beginning of Twitter? How like things
There's probably a lot of N words that I threw around. a lot of words that I shouldn't have said.
You blow up, bro. You're getting canceled.
I'm done.
Bro.
I'm deleting. Well, actually, I deleted my original Twitter.
Okay,
so
there you go.
Good.
There you go.
But
Twitter.
My new Twitter doesn't have my name at all.
There you go.
I made because I was getting a lot of shit. Like I hated applying for jobs and thinking,
and then
my name,
they're gonna catch you. They're gonna see your thing. Yeah.
Isn't that so horrible? Like, what if you were 15 years old?
And we were. I mean, we were like 15 or 14.
And Twitter's a joke, too. Or most social media, like, you kind of just want to be like, I don't care.
Exactly.
Like, this isn't the real world.
Exactly.
But it is the real world.
Exactly. It's the new real estate, I think, dude. Social media is like the new like real estate. Like, you know, come to my house, like, and you go to their Twitter page and they have, you know, everything.
Or before someone meets you, or
exactly
when you meet someone, like afterwards, you kind of look at their social media,
see what they're
and get a clearer picture of who that person is. Because so now my new Twitter is like it doesn't have my name. My handle is completely different, like something dumb. I'm not gonna say it because then people, I could probably say it. I mean, it's not like you guys get like 100,000 views, obviously.
Yeah. But you don't know. I mean,
not yet.
Now with you, you're with your clout. We might get that. We might get that with your clout, bro.
No, but and then my TwitCon is like my face distorted. So I literally did it on purpose. I created a new email so that my name wasn't attached to the email.
And that's smart, dude. But at the same time, it kind of sucks that you did have to do that because you know, people could find you and could look at your old stuff and call you out for it or whatever it is, or not hire you for a new job.
You're not going to get a job because of something you said when you were 15.
Yeah, and it's
some people even now are saying some alienating stuff, like on their Facebook and it's like, damn, it's dangerous.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is very dangerous.
Like, if you're not on the good side.
Exactly.
You're going to get ripped apart.
Exactly right.
The vocal ones are the ones who choose side. There's no in between. The people who tweet and go crazy are the ones who are on one side.
Yeah. The thing is with social media, you want to be you want to be on the right side of history.
Of course.
Even if you don't know, everyone's leaning to the right or to the left or whatever it could be. You just want on your social media, you fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just want to be right. Yeah. And in reality, you know, they put all this, you know, stuff out on their social media and then you meet them. And it's like, yo, you're completely different from who you portray on social media. And it's like, well, it's kind of a game that you have to play. You know, you gotta be in the game and you gotta be the winning team. You gotta win. And that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It's like you're either on one side or on the other side. You can't be both. Like you can't say this is right over here on the right side, and then you go on the left side and this is right. It's like you can't do that anymore.
Like exactly what you said.
Sucks.
I agree with Trump with how he's handling China, but I don't agree with how he's handling like race relations. But you can say that you either hate Trump or you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, he's an idiot when it comes to talking.
Yeah.
Like our leader, the leader of the free world should be a better communicator.
Of course.
Who unites people
and thinks before he speaks. Like
first of all, you're a billionaire.
Yeah,
you have a lot of money. You can hire someone to help you out. And but he's not doing it because he's arrogant. And exactly. That's why I don't like him. But some of the things, it's like,
love him, you know?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like, how could you? Why are you in love with somebody like that?
That
you don't like necessarily know.
They view him as like a freaking saint, and then people see him as a devil.
People are weird. Even people who like are in love with Democrats, like Obama or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're weird.
Yeah, you don't even know him. You know, you have no idea who
what
he
you
is.
know of him is what he wants you to know.
Exactly, and that goes back to social media.
Very good point. That's a very good point.
And that goes back to social media. It's like they're presenting themselves as one way. When you meet them, they could be the completely opposite way, and you have no idea because you don't really know who he is. So like, why put so much faith into somebody that you don't really know? And it's like you're gambling at that point. It's like you're hoping that he's that way, but he really isn't. It's a tough world right now. It's very sensitive, very like.
But it's going too far, dude. When you were talking about Novak's wife, there was another case that Alex was telling me about. An LA Galaxy soccer player here in America. I can't remember what his name is.
It's some Russian dude. I don't really know what his name is. But maybe he's not Russian, but something like that.
LA Galaxy. And his wife said something against Black Lives Matter. I think she said
she said something really bad.
Like, she said something bad. She said like kill the little shits. She said something about kill them, or there was a black dude who was walking out of a Nike store after it got looted. You remember the news was showing all that looting and stuff of people stealing shoes and stuff. So there was a video of a guy walking out with Nikes. And she posted something about like Black Nikes matter, like just a joke, like. And that LA Galaxy player got fired from his job for what his wife said.
Yeah,
it wasn't him. He has no control over what his wife said. Let's say he was at practice and she was fucking sitting at home just tweeting out nonsense. What does he have to do with that? He can't control his wife. What do you want him to do? To like grab her and make sure that her tweets are what he accepts? Like, I don't know. That makes zero sense, and he lost his job.
Yeah, he got fired for it. Yeah, I know. But at the same time, it's like people's arguments are like, well, you knew who your wife was. Like, you knew. Why did you? You know, if she's out here saying this sort of thing, sort of things, like
you married her, you agree with her.
Yeah, you knew who she was. You knew who she is.
That's not necessarily true.
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot of things that you don't agree with with your wife.
Of course, like me and him, like you know, where like me and him disagree on a lot of things, and just because he tweets something doesn't mean I agree with it. Like just because I tweet something doesn't mean that he agrees with it. And that's what happened to that guy. Like he got kicked out. He got cut from the team. Like he's not playing on the LA Galaxy anymore just because of what his wife said. And it's almost, I don't want to say,
far.
Yeah. I was about to say, I don't want to say it's going too far, but he said it. But it's very tough, man. And in these topics, like I feel like,
well, I mean, we never know the full story. I mean,
right, exactly.
These guys running LA Galaxy, I'm sure they're smart dudes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or dudettes.
Yeah, they look into things.
You know, like they probably. I mean, there's probably shit we don't know. Maybe that guy has said racist shit or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Very good point.
Right.
Very good point. I don't know.
We don't know the full story.
I mean, people who are running a million, maybe $1 billion organization,
probably.
like these people are smart.
Yeah, right.
You know, and if they really don't want anything affecting the brand of LA Galaxy, and this person has come really close.
Yeah, then that's
like,
it.
Hey, we gotta let you go, bro.
And that's a very good point. Like everybody's protecting their bottom line. Yeah. Everybody's protecting their brand. Everybody, like you said, like I'm mellowed out. I'm protecting my brand. Like LA Galaxy is doing the same thing. Like they're protecting themselves, and because of this player's wife, they might lose some sales, or like people aren't gonna go to their games, or they're not gonna watch them.
Especially in LA,
TV.
Like LA is it's going down over there with the Black Lives Matter. Like, did you guys see that picture? It was like an aerial view of the protest, and there was like 50,000 people.
Yikes, man!
It's crazy.
That's good though. I mean, that's good for you know that movement, and you know it needs to happen, dude. Like it needs.
Did you guys hear about
needs to happen.
NASCAR taking down the Confederate
flags? Yeah, I saw that.
The Confederate flag is the weirdest thing.
It is very strange, but
bro, it's just a bunch of losers, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah,
we were talking about that.
You lost the war.
Yeah, you lost.
Like,
bro.
why are you proud of it?
You lost the war.
That's like German people flying around the Nazi swastika.
Yeah, it's like you guys lost.
We lost.
I learned about that though in college. Like I had a history class, where he was explaining that after the Civil War, the Southerners just gained like this pride for some reason. Like they just gained this something. I don't know what it was. Like a proud.
Just sore losers, bro. Like that happens.
Exactly right. Yeah,
like, you lose, but you thought you should have won, and you're gonna be like, "We'll get him next time."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and who reenacts? You heard of those reenactments of the Civil War? Like they're all in the South. They're never in the North or anywhere else. Like they're always. I don't know. Like that brings up like to mind the statue stuff, like knocking down Robert E. Lee's statue and all those.
He was a good leader.
Owners.
I mean, right,
he was on the wrong side.
Even though he was on the wrong side, he won a lot of wars, like in the Mexican-American War.
Yeah, he was a general.
He was a beast.
Yeah.
I read a lot about that guy.
Yeah,
and he's respected for being a good leader, like just as good as I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, even though he's on the wrong side, like he's still a good leader, right? He was able to unionize people.
Some of those things, it's like, like he was on, protecting slavery,
right?
But I mean, that is American history. I see that.
Exactly, dude.
I see that.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing it from both sides, and people don't.
The Confederate flag, no go. Like that's a different country that you're representing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like I don't understand why that should be still flown around. Like what the fuck?
But it is our history. Like people want to erase our history, and I don't agree with erasing our history.
No.
Like maybe if you want to take their statue down, I mean,
my
maybe.
example is though, like let's say you have a child and you're in the South and there's a Robert E. Lee statue, and your child asks you, like, who is that? What is that guy? You can educate your child or people who are uneducated and tell them, this guy defended slavery, this guy was a general for the South, he lost, he was ruthless, he owned slaves, but like what you were saying, he led America through the Mexican-American War, he was a good military leader, he, and then you...
there's a lot of good things to learn from him.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's horrible. I don't know. I disagree with... I don't know. Maybe Robert E. Lee is such a weird.
Yeah, he's like the one guy.
Example.
Yeah.
Yeah, like everything. Like Christopher Columbus.
Yeah. He definitely did not discover America.
He like raped and shit. Like,
yeah, and he brought like all those, STDs and things like that.
Something that was already there.
Yeah, like the Vikings discovered it. Like, maybe we can just learn about it. And people are so obsessed with, like, growing up. Yeah. There was always like a 1 month where we would learn about Christopher Columbus, like in elementary school. Like, and then you grow up and you actually learn that he was like an asshole.
Yeah, he did all these things to Native, and there's a day. I mean, I don't think it's anymore. Like Columbus Day, like was a thing. Like there was.
Now it's Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yeah, Indigenous Peoples Day, and it's right. That's
way better.
It should be like that. It should definitely be like that because he did do a lot of bad things
But like someone like George Washington, bro, he owned slaves. He was probably ruthless. He was a womanizer. I'm sure he fucking didn't respect women the way he respected men. But he was a man of his time. Like, I don't know. He was the first person.
I'm sure 100 years from now, they're going to look back at a lot of the figures from right now and be like, oh, they're fucking.
Yeah, they're bad. They did this, or they're on drugs, or they were doing these things.
But specifically, I don't know, like George Washington was one of the first people in world history to give up power. Yeah. Like he has ultimate power over his country and he gave it up. Like no one's ever done that. And let's say you take down a statue or you don't learn about him. Like there's universities named Washington. There's a fucking state named Washington. So are you going to rename the state because he owned slaves and he was a womanizer? I don't know. I have no idea, but it's good to educate yourself and understand.
Yeah, like that other statue they brought down in England or something. They threw it in the lake or a river.
I don't know.
Was that in England?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Chopped his head off or something. Yeah, I saw.
I don't know who that person was, but all they labeled it as they took down a slave owner's statue down. But like that guy could have been. Yeah, that guy could have started a bunch of other shit that we don't know about that actually influenced history in a positive way.
Exactly, and if you don't know your history, then you're bound to repeat it. You're bound to go back and repeat it. So it's. The statue thing is I mean, it's really, it's a statue, whatever. You made a statue, you can get rid of it, whatever, but at least don't stop learning about the guy. Don't stop teaching lessons about him. And it's such a, I don't know.
History was definitely like my favorite subject to learn.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to see how things were back then versus how they are now. And
have you guys ever been to Mexico City?
Never. I really want to go though.
They have so many statues.
I really want to go.
And like, I think they had I saw a bunch of statues. So I want to say that they have it all over the city, but a lot of statues. So you get to read the plaque. You know what I mean? Like you get to History's always been
like a little excerpt of.
So it's always been like dope for me to learn history. So I mean, taking down statues, I'm not about. Some statues, I'm like, take that shit down.
Yeah, right.
Christopher Columbus, I don't get why they're so obsessed with him.
Yeah. Like Mexico has such an interesting history, even affecting like the Civil War. What is the typical one they say, like Cinco de Mayo? Everyone believes that it was Independence Day. Yet it was the batalla, like the battle for, I think it was the France.
They defeated France in Puebla.
Yeah. And the I don't know. I think if the Mexicans lost that battle at the end of the day, but if the Mexicans hadn't held off, it was the French, right?
The French, yeah.
And if they hadn't held off the French the way they did, the French would have joined the South in the Civil War and helped them advance. That's what I learned in college.
And I know they were very like outnumbered. That they barely won.
That's why they remember it, because they were the underdog. They weren't supposed to even battle with France, but yet they held them off for at least a little bit. And even like learning history, I heard in one of my classes that Abraham Lincoln, right, we view him as such this beautiful guy, ended slavery, the Emancipation Proclamation, he's on the penny. Yet I think one of my professors said that his end goal was to take the slaves and return them back to Africa. Not to have them live amongst Americans, was to ship them back to Africa.
Well, he has that quote where, I don't remember how it goes, but it was like, if I can not free any slaves but still keep the Union, I would do it. Ooh. So he was mostly fighting for the Union instead of like all he cared about was unifying the country rather than enslaving slaves.
Right. So if you don't learn that, you don't understand that. You will view Abraham Lincoln as this almighty guy above his time, before his time, who believed that slaves shouldn't be held captive by these masters. Yet at the end of the day, like,
or have you guys seen that documentary on Netflix, 13th? It goes in
because he was the 13th president.
No,
right?
13th Amendment.
Oh, okay. What's that? So, that's the abolishment of slavery. Is that what it is?
Abolishing slavery, but it pretty much says, I don't know the actual words, but it's like no one should be a slave unless you're a prisoner to, unless you're in prison.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
So that's why, like, after the Civil War ended, all these African Americans were put in prison for dumb shit like loitering or homelessness. So essentially, the South was able to win back all their slaves, like in a legal way, like a loophole.
A loophole from the 13th Amendment. That's an interesting documentary, dude. That sounds like
I didn't know
it's really
history.
good, bro.
Yeah,
you'll be like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, dude, and that's history, right? That's our history, dude. And it's things that we don't really learn in school, right? You know, it's something that now we're learning. Now that we're older, we're looking into things a little bit deeper. It's such a complicated thing, like history is. But if we learn about it and we know the truth, because in school they want you to think one way, but in reality things happen a different way. And if we don't learn how things really were, then we're just bound to repeat it and just go into a circle. Like we go back right to where we started. Like it's very tough to talk about or to even think about. Like it's very weird. It's a very weird thing. I don't really know. Yeah, I mean, I'm not that smart. I don't really know about history. I don't really know about that sort of thing. But I know that it's something that we should learn, or it's something that we should discuss, or just like how we're doing right now, just talking about it. Like we're not very smart, but if we talk about it more, we look into things a little bit more, then we'll learn.
It's better to have these discussions and just post whatever you see on Facebook, which a lot of people are doing and shit,
or just avoid it, or like not talk about it, like think it's like, oh, it's a sensitive
or at least like question it, like
exactly, like just be curious,
like why are you guys knocking at statues? Like, this guy was a slave owner.
Okay,
what else did he do?
What else? Yeah, what else did did he do? Like
slaves weren't cheap.
Yeah, right.
Only the like richest people.
yeah. You got to buy them off and things like that, but then you don't have to pay them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very, very complicated, very sensitive, but I feel like these discussions should be allowed, at least. Like we should be allowed to say these sort of things. But I mean, I don't know, dude. We're coming up on 2 hours. We're on an hour 55 right now, dude. An hour 55. You want to get into it? You got anything else you want to say? You're good? Nothing else?
I don't know. Maybe we should end it on a good note.
Yeah, well, we're going to have the beer review. That's how we're going to end it.
Right.
Yeah. So what?
We usually shit on our beer review, so I don't know. I said the last one, Alex said the last one tasted like Fruity Pebbles. I said a beer tasted like a Jewel Pod. Like, we've been shitting on beers.
Yeah, it's true.
I've been so off on beer lately.
Really?
So off.
I know. I remember back in the day, I know you were definitely a beer guy.
We don't talk about that anymore.
That's true. Let's keep that off air.
No, but just beer has been... not
your thing recently?
Yeah,
that's why you brought the whiskey or what?
Sometime.
What do you mean?
Like... It makes you bloated.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I know you
need to go to the restroom like every your breath smells.
Yeah, once you break the seal, dude, you're in for it.
But yeah, I'm down to. I actually already drank it though.
No, I know. So that was the pre one. So
okay.
So we'll get this other one in here. Let's see what we got today. Let's check it out. So today we have, looks like this is what it's called, Papago Desert Sage Orange IPA. So it sounds really good. I'm actually
what's it by?
I'm a fan of.
I think they're the brewing.
I'm a fan of IPAs. Company. It's the brewing
by 24 people who care. Damn,
that's what's up.
But it's probably no 20. I don't think that's the name of the company.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, just look up this.
Is it this Arava? Arava
just look
IPA?
Up Papago. I don't know, man. But yeah, we probably should have done some research on this before. Canned by Huss Brewing Company in Tempe, Arizona. So it's a kind of a local beer, Arizona beer. Support your local drug dealers. So yeah, Papago Desert Sage Orange IPA inspired by the Aravape Trail Runners. I hope I said that. Aravape Trail Runners.
In like a Mexican accent, it's probably native.
At McDowell Mountain, locally brewed with orange zest, a hint of sage, and agave to represent the flavors and smells of the desert. So that's very interesting, and it sells it pretty well. Yeah, I like the can a little bit. Let's crack it open.
It's crazy. On my way over here, you get a full view of the mountains on fire.
Oh yeah, the mountains are on fire, dude. We have mountains. What's the name of it?
Bighorn Fire.
Bighorn Fire.
And it's the Catalina
Have they
foothills.
contained them? Like last time I heard, they were 100% not contained.
Yeah, it is not. It's spreading. Like just off of me viewing it from my house, you could see that it started like on this section and then it spread. The fire's not ginormous, but you could see that it spread across the whole mountain. And now they're evacuating people who lived up there. They're straight up telling them to.
And it started from the thunderstorm, right? Like it wasn't like a human.
I remember that. Idiot. I remember the night. I was just. It was so weird. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, me and my girl were sitting in her backyard, just like watching.
Dude, it was crazy, huh, dude?
Hardcore.
It was crazy, and then all of a sudden, the next day you hear that the mountains are on fire.
Not a good trade-off.
Take
it back, please.
Yeah, I'll take it back, dude. Where's the other cup? You got one cup over there?
Yeah. I've never seen this before. You poured it in here?
Yeah.
Like a legit shit? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we stole it from somewhere.
It's just a little fancy cup.
There's another cup? Is there only one cup? There's got to be another cup around here somewhere.
I mean, there's this cup.
There's the
Should I drink this whiskey?
It's right there, bro. You dummy.
Oh, shoot. My bad.
Dingus.
I knew there was one more that I was missing.
Pour me a freaking slice.
It looks good, huh?
Yeah. Oh, shit.
It said orange IPA. I was like, dude.
Are you into IPAs? Are you IPA? I like IPAs.
If I'm going to drink beer, I'm going to drink something that
6.5%. So that's a decent amount. 6.5 is a pretty decent amount. That's good.
You know what I've been into?
What you been into?
The White Claws.
White Claws, dude.
Trulies.
We have Trulies. We do have a couple of Trulies right now. It's like it's seltzer water, right? It's like carbonated water.
You just feel better about yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's I'm sure it's less calories. I think White Claws are like 100 calories.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this is definitely not 100 calories.
This is a very good.
This is probably a lot, bro.
Yeah, it probably
People don't talk about like how much.
Yeah, beer definitely. There's definitely a lot of calories.
People go
in beer.
like, oh yeah, I'm gonna drink 2 IPAs, feel good. Yeah, but you probably just drink like 700 calories.
Yeah,
bro.
it's probably true because those White Claws and the Trulies they're 100 calories. Of course, it doesn't tell me.
It's a
I'll look it up.
Good looking.
And it's 5%. That's a pretty good number.
Very good looking beer.
5%.
Oh yeah,
worth of alcohol.
The White Claw. Yeah.
It smells exactly like what it says on the can. An IPA with orange. It smells like That's the only flavor I'm getting off of the smell.
It does smell pretty good,
It
huh?
smells really good. It smells like a strong IPA with orange. It looks really good. The other beers we poured are flat. The foam, it looks really nice.
Yeah, look how the foam is traveling through the cup.
I really like the look of this. I'm really into IPAs. I really like IPAs a lot.
Smells really well.
Just went right into it.
Yeah, let's clink it.
Oh, should I? Cheers, sorry.
So you.
I tried to.
Salud. Oh man, Papago Desert Sage Orange IPA.
Hey, the ASMR.
Yeah. I like it, actually. I like it a lot.
Dude, yeah. This is better than the last ones we had.
Yeah, that was good.
I like it a lot.
You said it was what? 6 point what?
6.5. Yeah. 6.5, I believe.
It tastes like a typical IPA. I don't really get
6.5
orange taste as much as the smell. It smells more orange than what it tastes. I don't really taste that much orange.
No.
I like it. I like it a lot because, we are kind of IPA guys. I really like it.
It does taste a little citrusy. I am getting a little bit of a citrus vibe off of it, but I don't taste the orange.
I like it, actually.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's really good. I do like this one.
I like it. So 6.5 by Huss Brewing Company, Papago Desert Sage Orange IPA.
Have you guys ever had the Space Dust? It's kind of like
I think
popular one, right?
Yeah, it's like got the hops and then the
it has a big old hop.
Yeah.
It has a smiley face.
I've seen it. I don't know if I've tried it. Maybe I've tried it. I'm not sure though. But
it's if you drink one of those or two, you'll be feeling good. But there's a trade-off. You know what I mean? Like those aren't as good, and this is pretty good.
Yeah,
and it's still 6.5 or whatever.
Right.
So.
I like this a lot.
I'll read their first paragraph. It says that Huss Brewing is proudly local and independent craft brewery in Tempe, Arizona. Fuck ASU.
That's right, where ASU is, huh? Tempe.
True.
Founded and operated by a husband and wife team of Jeff and Leah Huss.
Shout out Jeff and Leah.
Shout out Jeff and Leah, yeah.
Our beers are available exclusively in Arizona, found at your favorite bars, restaurants, grocery stores, resorts, and retail stores statewide. So maybe you can't get it anywhere else but Arizona. That's what they make it seem like.
You think they're doing it on purpose?
Probably.
Or like they just can't get any like.
That's probably true. Yeah. I mean, if you can franchise and you can get out, why not get out, right? Like, why not, right?
I mean, right, I feel like that would be the what you want. In
the
your
logical,
business.
Just in a national.
But
or
they're making it sound good. They're like, we're only in Arizona. I'm just kidding. I'm not.
For an immersive Huss experience, drop by our communal tap rooms in Tempe and Uptown Phoenix, where you can deep dive into the Huss family of beers. Huss Papago Arizona Light with new and old friends alike, dude.
I really like this.
It is good.
We had before we had on one of the episodes we had a Wolf Pup Session IPA, and that IPA was really good too. I really like that IPA, but that one was more so like, I think Dom described it perfectly. He said it was like an IPA for those people that don't like IPAs or kind of want to get into it, or maybe like haven't acquired the taste for it, because IPAs kind of are like an acquired taste, right?
Yeah.
Like,
this one is more bitter. This one is
definitely
more IPA than the gold.
Exactly. Yeah, the Wolf Pup. So Dom was saying that the other one was like more for people that kind of want to get into like an IPA or like, kind of want to acquire the taste or just want to see what an IPA is about. This one is like a actual kind of like a hard IPA that is bitter, but it does have like the citrusy flavor, so it does counter it. But it's good. I really like this one. 6.5 is a good alcohol percentage. I think that, you have a couple of these, you'll definitely feel it. I mean, I think we're already a couple, whiskeys in too. Yeah. And you drink a beer too. So
I think the way that I got into IPA was I would go to bars and a Dos Equis and an IPA would cost the same.
Yeah. It's like, well,
so I was always like,
get more alcohol. Yeah. Just get more.
I'm
yeah.
gonna get an IPA.
Yeah. Get more alcohol in there. Yeah. Might as well, get your money's worth for it.
And
right?
then you kind of get used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would prefer an IPA over, like, I love Modelo still. I love Modelo. I love Modelo, Dos Equis. I love that sort of stuff. But like you said, if I was at a bar or if I was somewhere like eating or whatever, like, I'm going to get my money's worth. I'm going to get an IPA. Definitely. I prefer IPA over this. And this one's a good one. I definitely do, because I've been burping a little bit. I do kind of taste that orange, like on that second sort of.
More, right? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I don't taste the orange as well as it smells, but
it smells really good. It tastes good. I like IPAs, but if you aren't into IPAs, then maybe this isn't the one for you. Maybe go look back at I think it was episode 3. Check out episode 3. Yeah, or
what
maybe 4.
This is 5.
This one is 6. Yeah, 6. This one's 6. But yeah, I really like this IPA. Because I'm a IPA guy, but I understand why people don't really like IPA. But I do like this one. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think, Julian? What are we thinking? 1 to 10. I know you're, I don't want to say you're an expert beer drinker, but you've had your fair share. You've had your fair share of beer, so I'm sure that you've been around. You know what you're talking about. Scale of 1 to 10, man. Papago Desert Sage.
Maybe 7.6. 7.6.
7.6. I like that score. Very like
modest almost.
Yeah, not modest, but like exact. Like it's not
on point.
Yeah, not a 7.5.
7.5. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
it's not an 8. Like an 8.
It's not an 8. It's not a 7. I don't know. I don't know. I really like this one. I really do. I can taste the orange. Man, this one's tough, dude. I like about it. Like, I like the look of it. I like the smell of it. I like
definitely.
The taste of it.
It's very pretty.
Yeah, it is a very pretty beer.
And smells good.
Yeah.
I just, it could have been.
What, a little bit fruitier or what? What are you thinking?
I don't know. The taste.
It does go away. The taste does go away.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. But the smell and look were so much better than the taste.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. So the expectation of it, just looking at it and smelling of it, kind of like you expected it to be better than what it was, just looking at it and smelling it. And I agree with you. I definitely agree. I can see that as a knock. I can definitely see that. But man, I don't know. I really like this beer. What did you say?
You said 7.5.
7.5. I'm gonna go a little bit higher. I'm gonna go 8. I'm gonna give it an 80%. B minus. I think I like that score.
But it's so weird that we've, like, the previous beer we tried, we hated it. It was terrible for us. And then we look on the website. There's this website that judges literally like every single beer, and they scored it like an 83%, and they said it was good. And to us, it was disgusting.
Yeah, very strange. I mean, people have their own opinions, right? People have their own taste buds, and they're able to determine what's good or what's not.
I think it's literally called like Beer Advocate. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
And yeah, it gave it like and I honestly, I said I was going to finish it, but I couldn't really finish it, dude.
Really?
It was, I just felt like it was a lot of flavors mixed in one. I mean, you can go back and look at that.
I don't like the real fruity ones.
Yeah, it wasn't really fruity. Like it really, like sour. Are you a sour beer guy? Like, do you like sour beer?
I just like my beer tasting like beer, you know?
I see that.
I go for a beer taste.
I see that. My dad's the same way. I like both sides.
If there's a sweet flavor to it, it's only a hint. Like I don't want it to be like overpowering.
Right. And not overpowering the actual beer flavor.
And that's exactly what that blueberry wheat was. It was blueberry and vanilla. And when he said vanilla, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I don't like. Like the sweet vanilla, it was just not too much.
It was like you guys were drinking soda or something?
Not even. No, not even. Like maybe soda and mixed with beer. Like let's say you pour a soda, like a vanilla Coke.
Like a float.
You pour a vanilla Coke. Yeah, you pour a vanilla Coke, you pour a blueberry juice or whatever, and then you put a little beer in it. And that's kind of what it was. And my friend recommended it. Chowder, shout out to Chowder. He said that it was good, but honestly, this one's definitely better. Maybe
did you guys taste them with him? Like
no. Yeah, he dropped it off. So he came on the show, and then the next day he dropped it off and was like, "Yo, you guys got to try this and put it on the show or whatever." So we did, and it wasn't as good as advertised. Yeah, and it goes back to what you said. Like maybe we expected it to be better than what it was, and we look at it and
everyone has their own taste.
Yeah, exactly right. So I mean, we're IPA guys, definitely, that's for sure. So this one is better.
What we said with acquiring the taste of beer. Like I just got into whiskey. Actually, I'm not even into it yet.
Really? I really like that. Good. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah, what was it?
Honestly, 1792.
1792. Yeah, 1792. That's a good whiskey that Julian brought here, and I really like that, dude. It was very sippable. I mean, we went through 2 little, half cups of it or whatever it was, and it was good. But yeah, this beer, so you gave it a 7.6.
7.6.
Very exact, 7.5, and I gave it an 8. I really liked it. Again, it was Papago Desert Sage Orange IPA by Huss Brewing Company. 6.5 alcohol percentage. I'm not getting an IBU. I really don't know what an IBU even is. I know what it stands for.
What does it stand for?
International Bitterness Unit.
Oh, it has to do with hops and shit.
Yeah.
Like how much?
But on this, I don't know. I guess on this website that I looked at, it says no IBU, so maybe it just hasn't been recorded or someone hasn't really looked into it yet. But it definitely
how is
bitterness.
It?
So I don't know. We've been confused with the scale because I think the lower the score, the more bitter it is. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure.
I thought it was the higher the score.
I think that a beer that has like that one is 69 IBU.
I just found it. So I found another one. So it says it's rated 69 IBU.
And apparently that makes it sound like it's really bitter, right? 69 is a pretty high
69.
score.
Yeah, that's a good score, right? That's a good score. I like that score.
It's really not.
I'll take that score.
Yeah, I'll take that
any day of the week.
Any day, dude. That's a good score. I like that number a lot.
Maybe compared to like a Bud Light or a Coors or a Miller's, it's bitter.
It's with scoring things, there should always be like a standard. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what's difficult about
like a middle ground or something, right? Like something like an average score, or like a average.
Or like, oh, I'm gonna score this beer. Like, but what's a 10?
Yeah, like what exactly? What's the standard? What's the line? What's a 5
and what's a 0?
Right.
Like I need.
I agree. I completely agree with that, and it's
tough to.
It's all subjective. Like it's all everybody's opinions. It's like who really knows if this really is a 69 IBU. But I like the score, like you said.
Yeah, but the IBU.
I like it. I like the IBU score. I don't know if Julian got some more in there or not, but yeah, dude, this I do like it. So 7.6, 7.5, 8, and I mean, anything else? I mean, I think we're at the end of the road, right? We're coming up against what? 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It's a good time.
Yeah, dude, it's a good time. Thanks for coming, dude. It was a lot, a lot of good talks and a lot of things that maybe people will get mad at us for, but who really knows, right?
I
mean, we're just giving out our opinions, not to say that we're experts or that, we're just I
think we were very clear that we weren't.
Yeah, and we said it multiple times that we're not, who really cares about us? Who really cares about what we say? Like it's maybe it'll come up later in the future, maybe not, but we said it multiple times that we're not saying that we're right or that we're wrong. We're just saying what we think, and that and that goes back to open dialogue, and I feel like people should have that open dialogue. But yeah, I think we're at the end of the road, dude. Julian, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thanks to Whiskey, man. Thanks for the clout. I appreciate it all, dude. Any last words? You guys all good? I'm good. Yeah, we're good. All right, man. Well, we'll catch you guys next time again. This is one of the craziest dudes that I've met, but he's mellowed out. He says, he's mellowed out. But
that's right.
He did run through a bonfire one time. I saw him do it. But again, Julian Verduzco, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it, dude.
Anytime.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.